Good everybody, good morning. Welcome for the final day of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022, proudly presented by skysportnext. Well, it's another glorious day. Again, just some lovely high cloud. Matter of only around about 5 minutes ago, we had the lovely Hawke's Bay phenomenon of a little bit of mist just wafting across the ground. This wonderful Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park venue. It's great to be with you once again, and still, I guess, really getting ourselves just settled back in after what was an extraordinary day three. As we said, the opening 2 days were about our under 18 and under 20 athletes, and we saw some great performances across those 2 days. And now the weekend is all about the seniors and our wonderful para-athletes, like that man you see on your screen there, Corin Hanning. And we saw yesterday New Zealand records, we saw PBs, and it's just been was a wonderful day. And I don't know about you, Sarah Cowley, Ross, it really was a case just sort of sitting down last night and just sort of letting it all sort of soak in particular those national record performances led by your old mate, Tori Peters.
Yeah, what a great day for athletics yesterday. You know, it really shows the benefits of having a national championships in just such great conditions, and the athletes made the most of them. And it was actually very difficult to do the analysis at the end of the day on the performance of the day.
I just think you could just spread it right across. Yes. As we see here the 100 hurdles, and we start, the 110 hurdles, and we start with, of course, the sixth discipline of the decathlon. Our leader after the opening day was Aaron Booth with a score of 3,948. Aaron was hoping to be around the 4,000 mark at the end of day one, but you know, we talk about fine margins in sport when it comes to the decathlon. Literally a tenth of a second there, a second here, half a metre there, that really does cost you points in the long run. Here's Aaron, number 212.
Aaron, by his own admission, wouldn't say his hurdles is his preferred event. So a low 15s would be something that he'd be happy with. Sub 15 would be tracking ahead of schedule.
Right, so you see the Javelin getting ready over there. Here is our athletes and remaining athletes in the decathlon. We have sadly lost a couple of competitors, so just the 6 remaining at the moment. Corin's stepping in for the para discus, the opening flight. 2 competitors in that one. It's that man, Corin Hanning, and also Zach Lappin, who we saw be very consistent in the javelin yesterday, throwing alongside our outstanding open senior women. So lane number 5 is your leader, Aaron Booth. Inside is Wyatt, and he'll be very good at this particular event as well. But Aaron Booth made a very nice start. That's really good hurdling technique at the moment. Nice rhythm in between the flights as well. Just clatters those last couple. It's going to be around that mid-15.
Oh, goodness me. They're off on the decathlon day 2. The legs are a bit heavy, but they've made it to this point, so they've got 4 to go.
So now we will just see what the number is for that man on your screen. Aaron Booth just clattered the last couple. Actually opened up with one, but then through here, had really nice rhythm going in the middle stages of this race, Sarah.
Yeah, he did. He'll be really happy with that middle section of the race, but just as the fatigue starts coming in, the trail leg starts just getting a little bit sloppy there on the last 2 hurdles, hit them, but got over the line.
Just hearing as well that there was just a very minor headwind for the decathletes to compete with. The javelins just waiting for the times to just come up on the timing screen down in front of us. There is Zach Lappin, having done the javelin yesterday. Really consistent yesterday with his throwing too. Zach, he was sort of really in and around that 20 to 25 metre mark on a nice consistent basis. So as we continue to sit and wait for the numbers for Aaron Booth to come through, and the numbers are all important when we've got the calculators open.
You can see in the background there, warming up for the men's javelin, is actually Max Atwell, who normally we would see in the decathlon, but ruptured his Achilles last year at these championships. So on the return, as we see Corin Hanning into the circle.
So Max obviously just targeting certain events as he builds back in. I guess is it a case of avoiding some of those events that might put the unnecessary stress on that injury from return?
Yes,
is that the plan?
Yes, that's the plan. I've heard from Coach Terry Lomax, and he'll look to target decathlon later in the year when his body's in the condition that needs to be to withstand the 10 events over 2 days.
So the senior men's javelin throwers, what a heck of an act to follow after yesterday. Tori Peters extending her New Zealand record to 62.4, 62 metres, 40 centimetres. And we also, it was so important in terms of A, the victory, national title, B, the national record, C, Commonwealth Games qualification, really sort of just reinforcing her claims for that particular event and the vital ranking points. And I mean, you know Tori very well. She was pretty chuffed, and I suspect now she's probably got, I guess, probably tomorrow morning a few meetings and to decide what's the route forward. Do you go over to Australia? How you sort of plan, I guess, this next sort of month and a half?
I think, if anything, the last couple of years has taught us is the agility on the plans, and I think to Tori's credit, she's been really good at that. But that's right, Nigel has nailed it. Tori and Debbie are meeting tomorrow morning to discuss the plan going forward. Highly likely Australian Championships and the Brisbane Grand Prix. Really, just the Brisbane would be a points opportunity for her. It's a continental silver meet for World Athletics, which basically means that there's extra points on offer.
So it'll be interesting to see sort of how that all plays out. And I know it's a thought pattern for a lot of our athletes now in terms of what they are contemplating. Talking with Richard Potts, of course, local legend Richard Potts, of course, part of that wonderful Potts family, which again has that amazing rich heritage. Having a chat with him and just talking about Holly Manning, who we saw very impressive in the 800 metres. You know, she looking at maybe heading over as well, and still got designs on, you know, the likes of some of those athletes. Commonwealth Games still very much in their wheelhouse, but needing certain improvements, and we've discussed it over the course of the first 3 days, and no doubt we will talk about it as well throughout this final day as well. That extra little bit that you get from being challenged by competition who are better than you. When you look on the tables and see, right, you've got people running 2 minutes and you run a 2:04. If I run against a 2-minute 800 metre runner, can that drag me through to a 2:02?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the fact that the borders are open now is massive for these athletes. You know, the ability to go and come home and still then be able to, first of all, to be able to come home without the expense and be able to come home is huge. And so I think we'll see now a lot of people changing their plans on what was the preferred way forward, or even not going to Australia to do the rest of their domestic season, keeping in mind that Australia has Grand Prix meets and also their nationals coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think the best way to illustrate that, if you weren't with us yesterday, was Tom Walsh with the borders opening, being able to come home and do a training block either in Christchurch or maybe coming up to the facility he also uses in Cambridge. By the borders opening, he avoids being away for somewhere around 6 to 7 months on end. So that's a significant stretch of time. As we see Zach Lappin just giving the discus a bit of a dry. So just the two competitors in that men's discus para throw. It's Corin Hanning of Wellington and that man on your screen, Zach Lappin. Nice little whip at the end there to Zach. So that's going to be in and around again that mid sort of 20s, maybe late 20s actually. Trying to get the angle, trying to figure out the arc. Always a nice challenge.
Yeah.
There he is. Way to start the day. He'll be able to sit back and relax. You see again some of these warm-up throws in the javelin. That's due to get underway in a matter of only 10 minutes time. There's Corin. There's Corin as well, rocking the Solar Power Throwing Club t-shirt as well, so doing a bit of work with Shaka and company. So here we are, we've got Corin Hanning is leading at the moment. They've been through their first 3 throws. Corin at 34.93, followed up with 35.1 and a 34.14. Zach Lappin, 26.65. Then had the no throw, and that throw you just saw from Zach, 28.93.
There you go.
So that's good distance again from Zach. So we've got plenty of good events coming on.
And great to see our para athletes. Full integration of the para into the able-bodied program. And we saw last year the success of our para program in Tokyo.
We've seen it straight away at the Para Winter Olympics as well.
Yeah.
Gold medal yesterday.
Yeah,
Thanks for coming.
Corey Peters.
Outstanding.
Brilliant.
So there you see just a few more of the warm-up throws. That's pushing it out there nicely.
Nice and sunny first thing here in Hawke's Bay as we sort of look down. It's straight into it at the men's javelin.
Just looking over as well at the jumping area. It'll be the women's triple jump. Coming up a little bit later on. The hurdles are still set up because we've got some hurdles. The senior women, not too far away. Of course, 200 metres day.
Saw Big Eddie, I saw Nikitia in the cafe. He's eating a good breakfast, actually, I have to say.
I was about to say.
I don't think I could have eaten that much before a 200 each, but...
fair to say that he burns through at a decent rate of knots. Yeah. Well, still to come as well, we've also got today the men's pole vault, which will be quite an interesting competition. We'll see. There's Zach Lappin. I suspect we may even see Zach later on in the shot put as well, alongside Corin and Ben Tuimasevi. Ben was a Paralympian. He's the owner of the national F53 shot record. There's Corin there, another good multidisciplined thrower. They're just enjoying these lovely conditions this morning. The sun, once it pierces through those clouds, a bit of heat that comes into it. And just again, nice conditions, not too much breeze to speak of at the moment. In fact, as we look down from our position towards the Javelin, the all-important wind direction, which was so advantageous yesterday for Tori and Holly in the women's Javelin. At the moment, that the little squid just sort of lying quite dormant at the top of the little pole.
Still asleep, the old windsock.
Well, I think the Javelin boys would like it to just wake up a touch.
Yeah.
Here's Corin Hanning. So leading at the moment in the shot put. It's another throw north of 30 metres. Nice and consistent. You see some of the warm-up for the women's triple jump.
That's Helena Dennison. She'll be looking to improve on her performances from yesterday and also last year. She was second in the triple jump.
Helena Dennison, you'll hear her referred to by a lot of the younger Canterbury athletes as their track and field mum. It's actually a mum in real life as well.
Actual mum, not fake mum. 3 kids at home. I'm sure they're watching mum this morning. Hopefully they're maybe out of their pyjamas, had their brekkie.
Well, she's an outstanding athlete. I mean, she's had good longevity in the sport as well. I mean, she's mid-30s.
Yep, came to the sport as a sort of youngster and then came back after having kids. So good on her.
Because the big question is, can anyone stop the Thompson triple jump momentum? Anna Thompson again, who's just been in superb form, and I'll just look over my shoulder here and ask Hayden Shearman, who's already got the notes and the laptops up and rolling for us this morning. I mean, when was the last time Anna was beating? Are we talking about a 2-year period maybe she's been rolling through? About 2020, Hayden seems to think. So just absolutely dominated the triple jump scene from a female point of view as Anna Thompson. And I think you'll find that she will be very, very hard to beat. She's got a PB of over 13 metres, which was, I think, was that at Nationals last year.
Yep, set last year. And she's been in some really great form. It would be great to see Anna extend that. You'll notice that they are jumping in the same direction that the runners run around the track. So as we've seen the last couple of days in the mornings, they've raked the far pit and they've changed it round as the tailwind comes in the afternoon.
Then you see your field for the 100-metre hurdles. It's a very small field for the senior men. That's Nick Bolton, who's running out of lane number 3. Tom Maloney of Auckland with the headband. And lane number 4. And Joshua Hawkins in lane 5. Joshua, a 6-time national champion in this event, national record holder as well. National record stands at 13.69. In fact, there is actually another athlete too. He was just obviously going for a bit of a wander. Maybe just putting the coffee order in. He was out of shot there. There's Corin again, who continues to throw really consistently. There's our other one. That's James Sandilands.
He's also done some great coaching over the weekend, James
Outstanding
Sandilands.
coaching, hasn't he?
Yep. Wonderful to see.
Well, I'm sure we've got time to discuss plenty of things today, but we talk a lot about the athletic performance as we head over to the triple jump. We do talk a bit about that. About the wonderful talent that we are seeing in these performances. And I guess it does beg the question, you've been around for a wee while, in terms of our coaching at the moment. Has the coaching in track and field ever been as strong as it has currently? Because it appears not only do we have the experienced coaches there, we've spoken about Debbie Strange, we talk about Terry Lomax, but then again there's this emerging
pool of talent.
Nuri Greenhalgh.
Yes,
as an example, who's only been coaching for 3 years. As here we are in the final. This is the 100 hurdles. Hawkins, your national champion and national record holder, gets out in front, clattering a couple though. Good run by Sandlands, who's going to come through in second. It's going to be Joshua Hawkins. Good time around that mid-14s as well, but another national title to Hawkins. Sandland second. And then I think it might have been Maloney who snuck through in third. 14.54 seconds for Josh Hawkins. James Sandilands 15.47 for the silver. And then Maloney 16.22.
A bit messy by Josh on that in that run. You know, had quite a few hurdles, but national title, he'll take that. And well done to him. 7th national title.
It must be very hard at this time of the morning as well. You know, you have to get up loose and limber, and you think about it. You've really got to activate the hips in particular to make sure you're able to sort of swing. You've got to get your knees, your hips in particular really going.
This will be what you'll be learning when you do your decathlon. How to limber up early in the morning. And generally what we say is get up 3 hours before the warm-up.
Wow.
Yeah. So if they're starting warm-up at 8:15 this morning, you do the math.
So, wow, it's a very, very early start.
Yeah.
Really early start.
Now, I'm not saying that they did get up that time, but optimum circadian rhythm, performance-wise, that's the recommendation. Also, I'm a big fan of sleep as well, so
about to say,
it's a fine balance.
There you see the field for the senior women's triple jump. Anna Thompson just been peerless Helena Dennison, Alessandra McDonald, they'll give her a bit of a nudge. Diana Ismagalova will also be in and around there too. Nice to see Ali Huli Langton out of Manawatu Wanganui and for another event. So this is Corin Hanning's final throw in the discus. Looking to send out, he's got a best so far of 35 metres 10 centimetres. It's another white flag, so all 6 throws for Corin, counting.
Not bad for year 13 at Wellington College.
So it'll be interesting to see how that throwing develops, as I say, part of that wonderful academy that Shaka Sola's got rolling down there. As we just wait for that number to come through. 33 metres, 43 centimetres for Corin Hanning. It's a good start to the day for him. He will take the gold. Zach will take the silver. Hayden Shearman has got more trivia questions. We started off with a trivia question yesterday.
I love trivia. I want to know. What's your questions?
So we'll get Hayden just going to slide in alongside us here. I'll tell you
That's Alessandra McDonald on the runway. She ran a great PB yesterday in the 4 hurdles, finished second to Portia Bing. Just about got under that 60-second barrier.
That was Luke Hassan that we just saw of Taranaki throwing in the senior men's javelin. So far, Anton Schroeder with the best throw, 57.63. Max Atwell, 50.17. And you see the second of the Otago athletes. That's Mike Mitchell. To Alessandra McDonald.
So ran in the relay last night for the Waikato Bay of Plenty in the 4x1.
After the first round of jumps, it is Anna Thompson with the advantage, just 11.7. Michael Mitchell of Otago. The next man on the runway will be Jared Neighbours. That would be the favourite for this particular event. Just hear the clinking and clattering there in the background as well.
Changing the hurdle heights for the women to come.
Andrea McDowell there from Pakuranga. And that's a white flag for her, so she fouled her first attempt. That last jump by Alessandra McDonald, by the way, 11 metres 19, 11.19 for Alessandra. Helena Dennison on your screen next up. Just wait confirmation of that distance for Andrea, 10 metres 4 centimetres for Andrea McDowell. So, Dennison on the triple jump runway. Jared Neighbours on the javelin runway. Comes, gets that. That's nice. That's in and around the 60 metre mark. Midway through, that's a good starter for Jared. I'm sure we'll have designs on going well over 60 metres in that one.
We're probably trying to chase down Tori's throw as well of yesterday, 62.
We see Helena Dennison, who's just completed her jump. This is a replay. Also entered in the 200. Wait for that mark for Helena to come up. 11 metres, 27 centimetres, so another 4 centimetres on top of her And Jared Neighbours starting 56 metres 31. So we can hear Hayden coming through there, so we'll get our little bit of trivia coming up very shortly. And there's Magalova. Nice stretch at the end. It's opened up with 11.6, so she's actually only 10 centimetres behind Anna Thompson. We head back to the Javelin and Max Atwell. And that there, he opened up with 50.17, and that one there, sort of a similar distance, maybe might have extended it by half a metre or so.
So Max was at World University Games representative in the decathlon, the same decathlon which Aaron Booth won in Napoli, Italy. And he'll be hoping that those championships come back online as the sporting calendar returns.
Is Magalova with a 11.55, so still her opening jump of 11.6, as her currently in second place at the moment. Here's Ali Hurley-Langton. No distance recorded for Ali yet. Steens through. We wait for the white flag or the red flag. Which one is it? And it's the red. So another no distance. And then it'll be time for Anna Thompson.
Well, good morning. Morning, guys.
Morning, Hayden.
Atamaria.
Atamaria, Hayden.
Day
Day 4. Let's
day
go.
4. The sun shines back. It's so good to be in the sunny bay, in the fruit bowl of New Zealand.
There's Anton Schroeder. Opening throw of 57.63, which has him in the lead at the moment. And there, again, sort of early to mid-50s.
So this morning, guys, I wanted to post a few questions while we've got Sarah in the commentary booth as we have a look at Anna. This is her second jump, is it?
Second jump opened up with 11.7. This is in another event which is very dear to the heart of Sarah Cowley-Ross.
Yeah, great to see Anna competing out here today. Early start for these young women. And I think she'll be looking to use that speed that she's generating her run up through. Not quite getting the normal horizontal carry. So she'll look to tidy that up in the next rounds.
So she opened with 11.7. Wait to see the mark come through for her. As I say, well, she's improved. That was 12 metres, 0.28. You know, she's capable of jumping 13, but she now extends that advantage. First of our athletes to go over the 12-metre mark. Oh, love that style.
Look at that.
Oh, he's the dude.
He's the dude.
He is the dude. He did this at age groups last year. I love it. So relaxed. So relaxed. The ability is to pop it up. And look at that. He's popped it over 50. He opened up with 47.83.
Somewhat of Happy Gilmore, isn't it? But I love it.
I just love it. Look, what do we say? Find what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
As we watch Jamie Spear with her attempt.
Right, so guys, we've got 3 questions this morning around the multi-events that I want to hit you with, and the viewers, of course. So the first one that we're going to dive into.
Competition?
This is definitely a competition.
Oh, great.
There's
I love it more now.
The equivalent of multi-event points up for grabs here. So first of all, let's rewind the clock on the multi-events and go back to ancient Greek Olympics.
Oh, goodness.
Which had the ancient pentathlon. 5 events. They were long jump, discus, javelin, and a sprint of some undisclosed distance. What was the 5th event? So we've got long jump, discus, javelin, and a sprint, and there was a 5th event. So let's just ponder that little curly question.
Oh, is it an athletic track and field event?
That would probably be giving too much away too soon.
Okay, yeah, great. That's the answer I wanted. So
think a little bit out of the box.
Okay.
Here's Michael Mitchell with a throw, and that one there again around that early to mid-50s range. He opened up with 54.47. Back over to the triple jump.
That's nice. So, Hayden, should our viewers be sending us a message in?
Well, we've got no way of receiving it. Are you willing to give out your phone number over the... jump in the comment section.
Comment section if you want to on the Sky Sport Next YouTube channel. That's one way you can do it as well. I'm sure if the wonderful Helen Wright's in there who's monitoring that there as we see Jared Neighbours. At the moment, sitting in second spot at the moment.
Oh.
Not for long. That's near 60 metres from Jared. Currently sitting in behind Anton Schroeder, who's throwing 57.83, but that one there is going to be high 50s, and you suspect would put Jared into top spot in our five-man field. That's his second round throw, and a good one at that.
So Jared, a former decathlete as well. Great to see him in the Javelin today. So I'm going to say, Hayden, bullfighting.
Not too far away.
Okay.
Let's just say it's
not
a martial
far away
art
from
of some description.
Wow.
Okay.
Martial art. Here's Max Atwell. It's a nice flight, and again, Max, he's been consistent. He's been in and around that 50-metre mark. His first two throws, one of 50.17 and 50 metres, 87 centimetres. As they begin round number 3. At the end of this round, they will reseed them. The least distance going first and your leaders throwing last. Also just started off the third round in the senior women's triple jump. It's got started off by Andrea McDonald of Pakuranga there, who's improved on her distance. She's now at 10 metres 36. And Elena Dennison has got the 200 heats coming up later on as well. See that great speed she can generate. She improved by 4 centimetres from round 1 to round 2. Let's see what Elena's put down there. This is a very small field for the 100 metres senior hurdles. Celine Pern, 2-1-2. Alex Highland, who we saw yesterday in the high jump. Here is Schroeder. Ooh, that's another good throw.
Threatening.
Well, he still has the advantage at the moment because that last Jared Neighbours throw was 57.24. So Anton's opening throw of 57.63 continues to lead. Atwell, by the way, just under 50 metres.
Here's Magalova on the runway.
She's jumped up in the running order because the athlete who was jumping before her, Alessandra McDonald, is competing in the 100 metres hurdles final. Just the three, Celine Pern, Alexandra Highland, as I said, won bronze in that wonderful high jump duel that we saw yesterday involving Imogen Skelton and Kelly O'Hagan. And then Alessandra McDonald will be in lane 5. So just the three athletes.
Late scratching from Amy Robinson after she tore a hamstring last week.
Nice start by Pern on the inside. And it's going to be Celine who's going to lead them through. Now McDonald starts to get about her work. This is nice and even at the moment. Pern just on the inside. Now McDonald, they are stride for stride over the hurdles. It's going to be a sprint to the line and a dip. And that there is going to require the photo finish team to get about some work because that was close.
What a great run from those two. So good in hurdles. We have someone right there, and that is Pern's victory, 14.61 to Alessandra McDonald, 14.64. Alexandra Highland in 15.56. So great running.
Well, so 300ths of a second there. So well done, Celine Pern.
Just a minus 1.4 headwind.
Now, Alessandra McDonald, having missed her third round throw, I'm sure will trot back round and recommence. Here's the man. Have some. Yeah, got him. Love that. Nice. You figure out what works for you.
Yep.
As we say, there's nothing wrong with being unconventional if it works for you. Now, Diana Ismailova has been really consistent We saw her competing just before that final. 11.6, followed with 11.55 and 11.54.
And here's Thompson on the runway.
So we've seen her, the only athlete so far to go over 12 metres, 12.28. Really trying to think of what the martial art is for this decathlon question.
It's annoying me. I need my encyclopedia husband on the job.
You can. Are you allowed to text a friend? That's nice.
Seems happy with that one.
As I say, she is capable of jumping over 13. We saw her do that at the National Championships last year.
Real breakthrough year for Anna, jumping, cracking that 13. She's done it windy, but to get it legal was really cool to see.
There's Mike Mitchell. Throw, didn't like that one, Mike, so the X goes against his name. Next up, it's going to be Jared Neighbours. What's it that? Triple jump, that's Jamie Spear of Waitakere. Best for Jamie so far of 10.17. She's improved on her first round jump.
You can just see on the fence line over there watching the triple jump legend Dave Norris and his wife Lee. Wonderful to see them here. Still coming to national champ, showing up, doing some.
Here's Neighbours. Again, got that one through. Again, that's a similar sort of an area. It's really tight at the moment. So Anton Schroeder's first round throw of 57.63. So he leads at the moment from Neighbours, whose best effort is 57.24. And that's going to be interesting to see what number comes up there.
So any advances, team, on what this fifth event in the ancient Greek pentathlon?
Quickly, 59.04 for Jared Neighbours. He takes the lead at the end of round 3 of the senior men's javelin. It's a no from me.
So we've got long jump, we've got discus, we've got javelin. So we've got 3 throws, 1 sprint, and then what's the other one?
Wrestling.
Wrestling,
yes!
Ding, ding, ding. And we also had one of the viewers, David, jumped on in. Yes,
oh, David,
yes.
good on you.
What's Greco-Roman?
Greco-Roman
I imagine something like that, yeah.
Greco-Roman.
Which threatened to go out of the Olympic program recently, actually.
Yeah,
Big
wow.
uproar in Europe.
Yeah.
Back on.
Back on. Would have you been down with this, added to the heptathlon?
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
What about the decathletes? Do you think Aaron Booth would be up for a little wrestle match at the end?
I'll tell you who would have been.
Here we go.
My old mate Brent Newdick, who was down to start this decathlon, but I believe he's
injured himself wrestling. MMA.
Potentially yes.
MMA is the 11th event. That would be good.
Goodness
yeah. Okay.
Me,
so
no.
Here we go. I'll just leave you with the second of the three questions. So Sarah's got the lead so far. We're 1-0 up. What is the softest event in the decathlon and the heptathlon? So as a distance runner, I'm often looking like, well, the 1500's not really that fast. Sure, they're tired, but I'll say that it's not the 1500 or the 800. So what I'm looking for. So this is the best ever in a decathlon or a heptathlon in terms of performances as a percentage of the world record in that particular event. So how close are you to the world record in that particular event? So what's the softest event?
You've pretty much made this quiz for my husband. He would be able to give you the exact percentage.
Well, he hasn't made it for me, not without at least another 4 cups of coffee, that's for sure.
You could probably work it out by looking at the types of bodies.
Yeah, okay. So are you talking about the percentage of the decathlon world record or the individual event world record?
Yeah, so let's say you've got the 1500 world record 326, and say the best ever in a decathlon might be, I don't know, 355, 4 minutes or something. So comparing the best ever in a decathlon compared to the world record in that particular event.
Okay, I'm actually going to say shot put for the men.
I'm going to go 400 because Ashton
Eaton ran.
Eaton ran some insane. Like, didn't he run sub 40,
the best.
44?
So no, we're after the softest. So the biggest gap.
The
biggest gap.
Percentage-wise.
So as an example, we've got Damian Warner's 10.12 was only 5% slower than Bolt's 9:59 in the 100.
Okay.
So that's a hard one.
Let me just
the
sit this out. I'm going to try and get this one. Okay. This is great.
There you see.
Gosh, this is better than the Wordle today.
So viewers, jump in that comment section and tell us what the softest event is.
Let me just tell you the events of the decathlon. So we start with the 100, then to the long jump, then to the shot put, high jump, 400 metres, day 2, 110 hurdles, onto discus. Our boys are warming up now. Pole vault, javelin, then 1500.
Second clue with this, it's the same in the heptathlon and the decathlon.
Okay, that's a major clue. A major clue.
That's a major clue for those who know the events in each of these.
We can straight away eliminate 3 events, can't we?
Yeah, okay. We've got this one, Nigel. So heptathlon events, 100 metre hurdles, high jump, shot put, 200 metres, day 2, long jump, javelin, and 800.
Actually, no, it adds to the event list, doesn't it? There goes that logic. I think I'm just going to stick to keeping an eye on the javelin. I can tell you, by the way, at the end of the third round, Jared Neighbours leads with 59.04. Then it's Anton Schroeder, 57.63. Mike Mitchell, 56.37. And Max Atwell, who's just ahead of this man on your screen. Luke Hassan. He's trying to get in and around that 50-metre mark. That's around the mid-40s again for Luke, who's got a best at the moment of 48.75. They've also completed the opening 3 rounds of the women's triple jump. And so they now reverse the order for the final 3 jumps.
I think it's got to be shot put, Hayden.
You are correct, Sarah. You are correct. It is the shot put. 2-0. I'm well impressed. Your knowledge of multi-eventing is quite incredible.
Well, when you think about the record in women's shot put and the men's, quite outstanding. And the clue that you gave us, the body type and also.
Here's Max Atwell, his 4th round throw. It's a good throw by Max.
Yeah, PB's actually 51 for Max, so
he's in and around there, isn't he? He's definitely in and around there.
So as a distance runner, when I look at the multi-eventing and I talk about the 1500, it's not so much for the 800. I find that the girls in the 800 are generally pretty quick. But it's definitely the more power strength-based events in the shot put. So about 25% lower than the world record is what we're looking at. When you compare Jackie Joyner-Kersey's
because I thought that the long jump.
200.
I thought the long jump for a second. Then I was like, no, I can't. Jackie Joyner.
Yeah, and only 4% slower than Flo Jo's 200-metre world record.
Sorry about it.
Here's Michael Mitchell. That throw by Atwell, by the way, 50.48. So he's been really consistent in a range between high 49s and mid-50s for Max. Luke's throw, by the way, 46, so not improving on his third-round effort of 48.75. Here's Mike Mitchell, who's trying to find a little something extra. He's in 3rd at the moment, but he's within touching distance if he can pull out something special.
And you'll see that them really wiping down the javelin. There is a little bit of morning dew. We referred to it in our weather report this morning. And that also on the bindings, making sure they've got a really as dry as possible on the bindings, affecting their grip, which is really critical.
52.67 for Michael, so no improvement on his second round effort. This is Jamie Spear. Seen Hurley Langton improve on her round 3 effort. She's jumped 10.2, 10 metres 27. So we head back now to Anton Schroeder. It's that close. It's another throw, sort of
Here, we can hear his block
early
from
30s.
here. Really forcing that left leg down as you throw to really come over that left leg and throw over it with that right side. Here's Booth.
So this is the Decathlon. This is the second event of the day for our decathletes, having completed a 110 high hurdles.
He'll be looking for something over 40, Aaron, in this event.
Looking for something over 40.
Oh,
there it is. There you go. So each decathlete will have 3 attempts. That's a very good start for Aaron. Look for that number to come through. Jared Neighbours is just getting ready to throw your leader at the moment in the senior men's javelin.
Oh, great wrap.
That looks like he's
Great
probably gone. If it's not over 60, it's going to be jolly close to it.
So what I'm referring to when I'm saying wrap is the ability for him, as he's running forward at the final stages, to really take the javelin back and then whip it round.
42.32 for Aaron Booth.
42.32.
42.32.
Great.
As everyone reaches down looking for the decathlon calculator.
Throwing his PB decathlon was 41.65. So again, we want to get that buffer up.
So I've been punching the numbers for Aaron overnight, doing my job as the accountant of the team.
Right.
So his PB is 7.827, which he set back in Italy at the World Unis. If he did his the same performances today, he would end up 43 points short of that PB. So we're basically looking for him to just edge those up in order to get that PB, and he will need to edge up a little bit more in order to get close to that 8,000.
As we see Joshua Woodhead. So what did we say his PB was in the discus there, Sarah? Did you just mention that?
So not his personal best in the decathlon's personal best score. So hopefully that makes sense. So,
so down on your bit of paper, you've got 41.65. So he's just gone past that with 42.32.
So this column here, so I've got one column for those of you at home which has the PB scores of the marks of his PB decathlon. So 7.827. Those are the performances that will create that score. So anything over that, tracking positively.
Well, he has, based on that figures there, he's now just tacked on another 50 centimetres. So that's a great start for Aaron Booth as we go back to Diana Ismailova. At the moment, the lead still being maintained by Anna Thompson. Ismailova with 11.6. It's currently good enough at the moment for second spot. White flag as the measuring tape moves in.
The other aspect that we're looking at with the multi-events today is the heptathlon opening up later this morning.
Let's not forget the hep.
And both Maddie and Christina are on track for some big PBs this weekend. So if they repeat their second day performances from their best days ever, they would both end up pretty well over 5,000 points, which would be very exciting to see. And the race is pretty close at the moment too. Just 32 points separating them.
Well, we've seen Jared Neighbours, last throw we saw of him, he was throwing over 60 metres and 6 centimetres. We've got the men's decathlon discus taking place. We've got the senior men's javelin. We've got the triple jump as well, and they're on your screen right now. Opening heat of the senior women's 200 metres. It does feature as well Georgia Hulls, who sat out the 100 yesterday. She's been battling a little bit of illness. George will be running in lane number 6. Celia Warden, 2. Summerfield, 3. Percy, 4. Cull, 5. Hulls, 6. And it is going to be Georgia Hulls who's going to lead them into the home straight, moving very, very well for a young lady who's been slightly under the weather. Going to be a real battle for who gets those top other 2 automatic qualifying spots. As here comes Cameron Smart down the outside, but looks as though it was Summerfield and Percy who follow in Georgia Hulls. But as I say, for a young lady who's been under the weather, I believe it's a little bit of a sort of tonsillitis. There you go, 23.99 into a slight negative headwind. Nice start for Georgia Hulls, and just nice to see her out and being able to compete. And Percy coming through 24.55. There's Mike Mitchell. And then I think you'll find it was Summerfield coming through in 3rd. And then we look for the 2 non-qualifying times, which obviously will be very important. There's Anna Thompson.
Oh, great extension there by Anna.
Go and have a look at.
Brilliant through the phases there.
So that was a jump on replay. That was 12.26. So she still leads the competition at the moment with 12 metres 60. It's around 50 short of her personal best. There's Nick Fee. That's a good throw from Nick. He'll be looking to just try and close the gap on the Auckland duo of Matthew Wyatt, who was sitting in that 2nd spot. He's actually trying to find it. Looks as though we may have had another withdrawal overnight, just trying to get all the ducks in a row. You see Jamie Spear. Excuse me, that's Andrea McDowell of Pakaranga. My apologies. So we go back now to Anton Schroeder. He follows that one through, but short of 60, and he's got to go over 60 metres now if he wants to claim the national title off Jared Neighbours. Dow. Dow's best so far, a 10 metre 36 centimetre effort. So just as we have a very brief pause as Aaron Booth is heading into the discus circle, we will get the 3rd and final question from Hayden Shearman's morning trivia.
Right, so this one.
Actually, we're in the 200 metres, actually,
yeah,
Tate, so you're just going to have to.
Right, I'll hold fire on that one.
Hold fire. So, you see the start list. Whitman of North Harbour in 2, Neil of Auckland 3, Blake, Canterbury 5, Harvey, Otago is in 5, Rosie Elliott, Helen Maloney and Charlotte Holland, all of Canterbury. And lanes 6, 7 and 8, of course, Elliott having won her first national title in the 400 yesterday. Let's see how those legs have recovered. She's in lane number 6. Nice run to start off by Harvey. Inside, though, it's Isabel Neal, who was also involved in that wonderful 400 metres. At the moment, it's Neil, it's Blake, it's Elliott. That's your top 3. And I think if they wanted to just ease off and save a little bit, they could. And in fact, that's what Rosie Elliott does. So that's a good run by Rosie Elliott, Isabel Neal, and Jordan Blake. They are 1, 2, and 3. And then we're looking to see what times we've got. 24.22 by Rosie. Neighbours' next effort in the Javelin is short of his best mark so far, which is just a hair over 60. Isabel Neal with 24.6. Jordan Blake, 24.96. Tasman Harvey, 25.29. That could be enough to sneak her in. Not so Hannah Maloney, though, with the 26.3.
Matt White in the discus, but those sprinters, they'll come back. 1:40 p.m. this afternoon is the time for the 200 metre final. Promising to be a real showdown between Hulls and Elliott over that distance. Certainly one of the races I was looking forward to over this weekend.
Well, Rosie, of course, obviously had the 2. She had the heats and the final of the 100 metres. She won silver in the 100, then came out and she explained, I think it was to Hayden Shearman, the closest she's ever come to death in the final few yards of that 400 metres. but got that national title that she was so proud of, and justifiably so. But then coming back, she was able to ease up. She's run 24.22, but being just able to ease up in that last 30 to 40 metres, save the legs just a touch.
Do you think she'll be in the 4x4 team?
Well, actually, that's a really good
How much
question.
will she need to be paid to join that team?
Nah.
After the weekend
Hang on,
that she's at.
Can I just throw
She's
in here?
gutsy.
She's a Cantabrian. If they walk up and say, hey, we need you, the mentality of that particular group of athletes will be, cool, let's go. So I'm going right now, I'm saying right now, if they ask Rosie Elliott to be involved, Rosie Elliott will be there.
I was having a good chat to those girls and saying we need to organise a 4x4 because right now with those top three from yesterday and Portia Bing and multiple other girls out there who could swap in and jump in, man, we need to see that happening.
We do.
We really do.
It's a nice effort from Luke Hassan, by the way. Sorry, guys. Just to interrupt
we had
that.
some great...
Final round, by the way, of the senior men's javelin. Apologies.
Great under 18 and under 20 performances from our young females as well. Mia Powell,
Yes.
World Junior qualifier, already had got the qualifier, narrowly missed it here, but some great talent over 400.
Yeah.
Here's
Yes.
Alessandra McDonald.
Extension through. Alexandra trying to get herself into medal contention. It is still Anna Thompson who leads.
All right.
To the discus.
Final question. So Sarah's got an unassailable 2-0 lead. So let's do this winner takes all for this last one.
We're a team, actually.
Okay,
Guys
we're
and I are a team.
All right. You two versus the viewers. Jump in the comment section. So obviously the sort of global mark to magic mark in the decathlon is getting past 8,000. But how many people in the world have ever broken 9,000?
Oui.
As we just see Max getting the javelin out, broken 9,000, and how many have broken 7,000 in the heptathlon? So how many 9,000 in the decathlon? It's the same number, by the way.
So Kevin Meyer, Ashton Eaton, Roman Sebrele, Dvorak. Is there anyone else?
Think very recent.
Did I say? Oh, Brian Clay. No, I said Ashton Eaton.
Yeah, you got Ashton Eaton.
Oh,
Think more recent.
Damien Warner. How could I forget that?
Yeah.
Oh, disappointed, Sarah.
You've said all the right names, but unfortunately there's one that doesn't need to be there.
Dvorak.
Yes, exactly. So 4 men have gone past 9,000.
Okay.
4
now
women.
The women, it's...
Let's test your knowledge.
Okay,
Tell you
wait
what, we'll take these final 3 throws of the javelin. Well, I'll buy you some time, teammate. I'll buy you a bit of time here.
Thank you.
So here's Mike Mitchell. At the moment, he still sits in 3rd spot. He needs to find an extra metre. He's got it in him. Taking his time on the runway. Really loads up. He sent that well. It'll be touch and go. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to sneak past Anton Schroeder. He's got to improve on 56.37. Let's just wait for that. We've also got Anna Thompson over on the triple jump. There she is. The queen of this event in New Zealand. Good speed.
Or better.
And if it's better in the eyes of Sarah Cowley-Ross, it would have been better because that's an event that she herself was very good at. We'll get the measurement there. Here's Aaron Booth as well. Now, he didn't have a mark in that second throw, so his opening mark of just over 42 metres currently still sits. Waiting for the measurement come through. 12 metres 66 for Anna Thompson, so she improves her lead in the senior women's triple jump. Here is Aaron Booth, 42.32. This is his final attempt. Here's Anton Schroeder. What can he find? Can he reach back? Right to the edge of the runway. Not going to be enough. He's going to have to settle for silver. Here's Booth. Oh.
Go.
Go. It has. It's gone for you, Sarah Cowley-Ross. It has gone. So he threw 42.32. So we wait for that, and then we will head away just for a short break once we've seen the final throw of Jared Neighbours, who is going to be your senior men's Javelin champion. So talk about great legacies. It's another event that New Zealand's had really good history in. Waiting for Booth's number to come through. As I say, through 42 metres 32 to open. Maybe it's in and around that. It's an improvement by 3 centimetres. Now you're kind of going, really? Is that big a deal?
Every centimetre counts,
says the former heptathlete. So take her word for it. I can understand you're not taking mine, but if Sarah Cowley-Ross tells you, you need to understand that. So 42.35. He goes over, has a quick chat with coach.
3 events left to go for Aaron Booth.
But that's a good little improvement. You talked about those marks that you were looking at. Here's Neighbours. That's going to be around 60. Won't improve, though, on his winning throw of 60 metres, 6 centimetres. So, Booth, now, we talk about that. 42.32 got him 711 points. 42.35 gets him 712. So that extra point there.
So to answer your question, Hayden, Jackie Joyner Quercy, Jessica Innes-Hill, Carolina Clift, and Nuffy Theum.
Close. We can drop the 2012.
JTT!
We can drop the 2012 medalists. So Larissa Nikotina from
Russian.
back in the 80s. Yeah. USSR.
Yeah, the Russian.
So there we go. Pretty good. Pretty solid.
Okay.
So 4 have gone past 7,000 and 4 men have gone past now 9,000.
So there you go.
Pretty
Hope that's got your brain going. It sure as heck has got Sarah Cowley-Ross's brain going. We're going to take a short break. We've got plenty more action and maybe the odd trivia question as well for you coming up here on Sky Sport Next. This is the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. It's the final day in Hawke's Bay.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams, our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
We know a country that will refresh you and recharge you and just make you feel a whole lot better about things. This country is food and wine country, but you probably know it as Hawke's Bay.
The Hits Live Free is back. Listen out for the key songs weekdays on The Hits. Hear it, call, and go in the draw to win one of 5 keys that could unlock the Hits Live Free safe. 1 year, no rent, no mortgage. The Hits.
He had. Welcome back to the final day coverage. We're just sitting here just discussing performances from the Sir Graham Douglas event with regards to Aaron Booth and his pole vault, which will be the next event up. So Aaron, as I say, the 42.35, earning him 712 points. His time in the hurdles this morning was 15.72, which is a little down. That earned him 765 points, as we've seen Elena Dennison. At the moment, Elena currently sitting, I think she might be sitting in second spot at the moment. So you know it's Alessandra McDonald with 11.61. Of course, the leader at the moment is still Anna Thompson, 12.66. And Unless someone can really pull something special out of the hat. Here's Diana Ismagulova. Self-centered and focused. The wind conditions, just a very minor trailing breeze for our triple jumpers. Nice extension through. The white flag comes up. See them? They're just checking. You see that the two tones there of the board. You've got the white board, and then just in front of it, there's that little grey strip. That's just some putty. That there will sort of highlight if you've overstepped. They'll leave a little spike mark. Now, Dennison's jumped 11.59. So that's put Elena up into third at the moment. Now, Ismagulova has just jumped 11.93 to solidify her second. And now it's really going to come down to that lady on your screen. It's a bit of a swag run. Anna Thompson, she leads with 12.66. She's capable of 13. Great speed she generates on the runway. White flag up. Satisfying day at the office. A Thompson double in the triple jump.
A Thompson double.
The Scott winning yesterday. Wait and see what that number is. As I said, she's jumped 12.66.
Not sure 13 metres today, but another great effort by Anna. Thompson's coached by their father, Richard.
Thompson, again, yet another event victorious. And as we heard Hayden Sherman point out earlier, undefeated since around early 2020. Anna Thompson, 12.44. That's her final distance. It's another national title for Anna Thompson. It'll be Diana Ismagulova who's going to claim the silver. And Helena Dennison, 37 years young, claiming the bronze medal. And another really good contest over in the... We've seen some really good jumping contests over the course of these 3 days, highlighted yesterday by the wonderful and dramatic final round of the women's long jump. And we saw Kelsey Berryman jump 6 metres 06 to move 2 centimetres ahead of her good mate Mariah Ruanuri. And what does Mariah reply with? A 6 metre 7 centimetre jump.
And I said on the live stream yesterday, I said, her family will be watching from the Gold Coast. Well, as the borders open, Mariah's mum, who's been a great volunteer for the sport, supporting her daughter, flew over to New Zealand on Friday night and got to watch Mariah compete. So there you have it. I saw her yesterday and she was just so happy to be here.
Now, I've got to make an apology because it's actually Alessandra McDonald that has finished, just speaking of another tight one, 2 centimetres ahead of Helena Dennison. So it is actually gold for Thompson, bronze for Ismagulova, silver for Ismagulova, bronze for McDonald, and a 4th spot, and only just narrowly missing out on another national championship medal for Dennison.
What a great morning by Alessandra. In the middle of that triple jump, she runs the 100-metre hurdles, gets silver there, back to the triple jump, and gets the bronze medal.
It's been a very impressive start. Kurt Sweeney down at the bottom of your screen, just getting himself settled into the blocks. We practice start. This is the senior men's 200. Yato Yaneto of Southland. He was solid in the 100. You see just lane number 3. You see the big frame of Idiosai Nkitia, winner of the 100 yesterday. Dion Velpton with just 30 metres to go, and what looked like it was going to really bring the cameras into play again, just clutching at a hamstring. But as we saw this, nice to see that from Cody Wilson. He was a medalist in that 100 metres yesterday. So let's run through this field. This is the opening heat of the 200. men's senior. Jackson Rogers of Otago will run out of lane number 1. There you see him, the tall athlete with the blue and gold colours. 200 metres sponsored by the good team at Timeout. We'll have another man from the south, Hiato Yaneto, in lane number 2. Then Edu Rosai and Kitia looking to maybe do the sprint double, 1 and 200. Cody Wilson and Jake Paul of Wellington in lanes 4 and 5. Hamish Gill, Auckland in lane number 6. Nathan McDonald, Canterbury in lane 7. And Kurt Sweeney. He's done 100 yesterday. He's also done long jump, triple jump. He'll start in lane number 8. So, a couple of heats. And it is the first 3 automatically qualifying for this afternoon's final. Then the 2 fastest non-automatic qualifiers. Looking really in this heat, lanes 3 through 6. Also Gitia, Wilson, Paul and Gill. Seeing the completion of the discus for our decathletes. Not too far away from our heptathletes with the long jump. Oh, it's just another delightful morning. Yeah, it is a great place to be. Especially when it comes to track and field. It's a wonderful venue. So it would be unfortunately not possible again for some of our great supporters, great fans, and I'm going to say we can't illustrate strongly enough the parents and the supporters outside the ground and unable to come in because of the settings that they are still in. But over at the cafes with the phones out, I tell you right now that that support very much appreciated by those inside the facility. You've done the fact that you're willing to sit there outside, just wait and support your athletes. Very much appreciated. Likewise, the wonderful people who are volunteering, helping, the great Athletics New Zealand staff and the volunteers. A lot of the volunteers, of course, athletes who have competed earlier on in the event as well, coming back to assist with things like the scoring and the measuring, the herding of the athletes into the different little bubbles and pods that they've got set up.
Speaking of a great day, Nigel. It is a great day, and a few years ago, this was a great day for you and your wife. Your wedding anniversary today.
Yep.
Huge congratulations.
Thank you.
23 years, I believe it is.
Yeah, 23.
Well, thank you very much to your wonderful wife for allowing you to be here today.
Well, she's just got used to it.
Bless her.
Bless her heart, yeah.
And congratulations, 23 years. That's a tremendous achievement, and we're thrilled you're with us today, but I know that you'll look forward to going home tonight.
If you make a good first up choice, you're doing quite right. And I'm just glad she's still hanging in with me just quietly because I think I've lost track of the amount of anniversaries that I've missed because of my other passion, which is nowhere near as great as the one I have for my wife, but I do enjoy commentating, and we've got one of the good ones here, Eddie Osai and Kitia. That's a really nice wee bend that Eddie's running as well too, with Cody outside him. It'll be Cody and Eddie leading them through. Now, if they want to, they can just ease down because they've got their spot, and that's exactly what they're doing. That's smart running by the pair of them. And was that Nathan McDonnell who might have got that third spot automatic on the outside? Easy for Osai and Kitia and Wilson. They're through, 22.02. Nice little gentle tailwind behind them. 22.30. It was McDonnell, the Cantabrian, getting up on the outside. Your Neto, 22.55. And then Jackson Rogers with 22.57. So at the moment, they are the 2 fastest non-qualifiers. So just make a wee note of that one there. The 22.55 to 22.57. But you can see here, Osai and Kitia and Wilson just easing up. Cody maybe easing up a little too much. No, timed it nicely. It's smart running, though. No need to bust a hump. If you know how it works, there you go. 2 thumbs up
He's got a big day ahead of him, so he knows just get the job done, get the cue this morning.
He's just got to be smart.
Yes.
I mean, he was pretty fired up, as you saw yesterday, for that 100 metres against his good mate Tiaan Veltman. And whilst Tiaan had that issue with around 25, 30 metres to go, you could see the intent in both of their faces. They knew this was big for both of them. They were in a match race. They'd cleared out with around 30 to go. And just a shame that we had just that slight hammy twinge for Tiaan Veltman. He's listed there. I'll be interested to see if he is running today.
I very
I'd
much
be
doubt
surprised if we see
Can't
lane
see
6. Yeah, lane 6 vacant, and that's just smart.
Yeah, wonderful to see Eddie and Tiaan go at it yesterday. Like you mentioned, unfortunate for Tiaan. But that's what we want to see, them bringing out the best in each other. And I know that Eddie referred to it in his interview with me after the races. He was all excited. And, you know, he's sat there in Australia with his family in Canberra, where he's based at the moment, and he's been watching Tiaan. 10.09 here, a windy 10.09 here at the Potts Classic. You know, 10.18 to equal the New Zealand resident record with Joseph Miller. And he's been desperately wanting to race him. And he got his chance yesterday. They would have liked to have both got to the line and pushed each other to great times. But as he said to me in that interview yesterday, we're enemies on the track. But we're great mates off it.
Well, they are getting themselves set. Over at that far side. 200 metres sponsored by Timeout. There you see your second heat. Shula Aura of Otago in lane number 1. Tommy Tapuni of Auckland in 2. Jordan Boland, who arguably you could actually say with the performance of the 100 metres, because he really stumbled out of the blocks and got up for silver.
Yeah, that was great running by Jordan Bollard there.
Jonathan
Really made the
Maples
most of it.
in lane 4. Josh Ledger in 5. Lane 6 is vacant. We can confirm no Tiaan Veltman. You see John Herbert, winner of the 400. Paced home the Otago 4x100 metres to a gold medal as well. And then just Gruby in the outside lane. So, for Maples, he was very good as well in the 400. So, again, another good start by Boland. He is a good starter, which is why we were so surprised. He's running a really nice bend, and it should be a combination of Boland and Herbert who are going to lead them in. They're clearing out at the moment. Boland's got a good advantage. Also to Josh Ledger as well. They can ease up a little bit. John doesn't want to eat up too much, though, because Maples was coming, but it is going to be Jordan Boland leading them through, using that quick start. Josh Herbert of Otago second, and it'll be Josh Ledger of Wellington in third. Now let's look at these times. So Boland with a 22.15, Ledger 22.31. It's actually Ledger that they've got, then it should be John Herbert coming through. That time very similar, 22.32. Now here's where it gets interesting. The 22.52 has Jonathan Maples in. But Brad Gruby with the 22.7, he's out. So, Yaneto gets through. Rogers
and
bumped.
Maples. Little cues.
So, it's just that's the margins again. So, Boland, Ledger, Herbert and Maples qualifying. Maples is one of the second fastest non-qualifiers. Also, Nkitia, Wilson, Yaneto through to the final as well.
And that final for the men, 1:45 p.m. And we hope that just as it's done the last 3 days, that we get a nice little breeze behind them.
So, stay wee break in proceedings. We will step out as well. You're watching the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championship on Sky Sport Next.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams, our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Since discovering I had a melanoma, sunscreen is part of my daily routine. Tested by dermatologists with broad-spectrum UVB UVA. Avène Sunscreen provides a very high SPF 50+ protection for sensitive skin. Make Avène Sunscreen part of your personal best skin.
We know a country where the food is bountiful and the wine is beautiful. Where the skies are big because the horizons are wide, so the warm, gentle landscape stretches out forever. It's a country that will refresh you and recharge you and just make you feel a whole lot better about things. This country is food and wine country, but you probably know it as Hawke's Bay.
The Hits Live Free is back. Listen out for the key songs weekdays on the Hits. Hear it, call, and go in the draw to win one of 5 keys that could unlock the Hits Live Free safe. 1 year, no rent, no mortgage. The Hits.
We're proud of our country, mountains and streams.
Our Jennian culture, our nation, our team.
Partnering with people who share your values is important. To achieve gold medals, you've got to put the hard yards in. The Jennian team share that pursuit of excellence, giving their best every day. And they get the results. Well done on 40 years, Jennian. Thanks for being the team behind the NZ team.
Today, we are reinventing insurance. It's a game changer. Real-time intuition, light-speed empathy, a real heart and voice. It doesn't just understand what you're saying, it can feel it. Say hello to an actual human being.
Hi there.
Since discovering I had a melanoma, sunscreen is part of my daily routine. Tested by dermatologists with broad-spectrum UVB UVA. Avène Sunscreen provides a very high SPF 50+ protection for sensitive skin. Make Avène Sunscreen part of your personal best skin.
As you can see, the sun-drenched Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park. Lovely conditions for the final day of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022. It's the second day of action for our senior and para athletes. Got the Decathlon and heptathlon to be completed. We've just seen the heats for the 200 metres. For the senior men and senior women, they'll come back for a final this afternoon, and it's looking like being a really nice, tightly run affair. See some of our great para athletes just getting themselves set for their next event. Just getting set over at the long jump. There'll be the women's heptathlon, one of their next disciplines, the long jump to take place. It's Christina Ryan, Alice Taylor and Maddie Wilson involved in that. What about our wonderful para-athletes? One of the best on the planet, Lisa Adams, set to compete at 11 o'clock this morning. She'll be stoked. She's got a full-time coach now. Just kidding,
Andy?
Dame Val. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, wonderful to see Elisa in Tokyo last year. Not bad, really, when you only took up the sport a few years ago. Talent spotted by Raylene Bates. Said to Dame Valerie, I've seen an article on your sister playing rugby. What's she like at throws? And it all started from there, and the rest is history. And now on the campaign for Paris 2024. And that's Jaden Muller in shot this morning. I walked in at the same time he was coming in, and he said that he hadn't got a PB yet. So that's what he was after today, and he's got a big program today.
So, there is Jaden, who we saw competing. We've got the other athletes on the inside. Again, they were the athletes that he competed with yesterday. Sarah Peters, Montana Brown. So, starting to get into our day's action. Of course, we've still got the likes of Madison Wishy in action later on today. Of course, Olympian at Tokyo, an outstanding performance through a PB there in the shot put. Got the men's pole vault, which is fixing to be quite an interesting wee contest, to put it nicely.
Yep. Nick Southgate versus James Stein. That's going to be another good battle.
It is an interesting one because obviously they're training partners, and whilst James doesn't have a measurement against his name officially, I know it has been noted this year. Yes, jumped 5 metres late last year, so that could be quite a fascinating wee battle as well.
Yeah, those guys have the potential for Com Games, and that's what they'll be aiming for.
Well, Nick was there.
Yeah, and
Gold Coast,
yep.
So he'd love to get back. There you go. Yep. So Josh Taylor will be in lane 2, Montana Brown in 3, Sarah James in 4, Wright in 5, and Jaden Movold looking for a PB.
I first came across Jaden working with the Weet-Bix Kiwi Kids Triathlon, and he has done about 1 million of them as they go around all around New Zealand. Not so much now, he's at the track. Wonderful to see these para-athletes here.
Yeah. He's ready to go. It has been a bit of one of the events that really has suffered through the pandemic, as we have a lot of events, but that Weet-Bix Triathlon, of course, it's really just not designed for the pandemic, unfortunately.
No.
And there's a lot of very disappointed kids unable to have a go at that. My daughter is still waiting for her first opportunity.
It's devastating, but you can do it at home. Give it a go at home. Check out the website.
We're underway. So it's Taylor in lane 2. Then it's Brown, James, Wright and Movold. So there is Jaden, who's been talking about his PB. There is Taylor working down the back straight. It's no different for our para-athletes as well. They do need to maintain their position in the lane. You see Movold really pushing hard. Nice rhythmical running style there from Taylor. He's got a lovely wee cadence, not pushing himself by any stretch, just going for the consistency approach. Movold coming around the outside. He said he's looking for that personal best. Now it's starting to hurt a wee bit. Only got 100 metres to go. I just love the rhythm. Really consistent for Josh coming through. Now he starts to really drive. Coming down, having a look. He's going to be in and around just outside 60 seconds, about 62 and a bit. Movold coming down, powering to the line. He'll stop the clock just under 70 seconds. So Josh Taylor, Jaden Movold. There is Jaden. Sarah James comes through. So Wright and then Montana Brown to come through very shortly as well. Montana digging in just around 90 seconds for Montana. Wait for those times to come through for our 5 athletes. Still got a smile on the face though. So Joshua Taylor, 1 minute 62.96. Jaden Movold 1 minute 9.29 seconds for Jaden. See, did he get his PB or not? Is the big question we are now asking. So, and wanting to get a personal best. We'll look to bring you those times as well for Gabrielle, Sarah and Montana as well. He's just having a wee chat. Yeah, these wonderful pieces of machinery that our para-athletes use. This little steering, we've seen them just with the bang on the side just to make those slight adjustments. So, yeah. Yep. Always time for a wave and a smile. That's what we like to see.
Big hi to the family at home watching. Great technology behind those racing chairs nowadays.
Well, you can see the carbon fibre going for aerodynamics. Extraordinary pieces of machinery. As we look over now to the pole vault.
So that means decathlon. So they go into their 8th event. Speaking last night to a few former decathletes, and they said it's in the middle of the pole vault that all of a sudden you start to feel a bit tired.
Well, I can imagine, because just pole vaulting at the best of time looks like quite an arduous endeavour. Having already completed 7 events prior, knowing you've still got 2 more to go. So, pole vault, javelin, 1500?
Correct.
So there's Josh Hawkins, who claimed another title in the 110. The 110 hurdles, so a bit of a medal ceremony. There's Tom Maloney. It was a really good event earlier on today. James Sandlands, who's mixing up doing a little bit of coaching in addition to competing. And a good coach again, part of that Canterbury setup. And then Josh Hawkins, who's just a multiple champion in this event now. And they were up really early this morning. They were on the track around 9:15. So, getting a wee thumb up and a smile there for Sarah Cowley-Ross.
Yeah, great to see Josh out there. He was the silver medalist at World Youth in 2011. So great longevity in the sport and still loves it. I spoke to him after his win at the International Track Meet last weekend in Christchurch. Considerable temperature difference this weekend. But he said, I still want to keep running fast and enjoying the sport. He is the current national record holder in this event. And it's just ticked off another national title, which is great to see. Great to see those other athletes out there too.
Well, the wonderful volunteers and organisers here just getting set up for our next raft of events. So while they are doing that, we'll take another break here on Sky Sport Next coverage of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships. We'll be back around 5 to 11.
and you've done 2 in a row, haven't you? Yeah. So grab something.
Sweet.
think we'll be out there, Brian. I think we'll be out there. You always have to just drop it. You get pushed out of your lane.
How's it going, Peter? Yeah, good. Well, that's a start. talking about, because she's being educated by ready to go in the senior women's 1500 metre final. The field going to be marked, Amy Ferguson of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Anna Crogan from Auckland, second in the New Zealand mile, lane 4 going to be marked, Tilly Collier from the category 2019 under 18 champion, Jessie Speedy of Auckland, Catherine Kemp, category 2019.
Welcome back as our coverage on the final day of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships continues here on Sky Sport Next. As you can see, another stunning day in Hawke's Bay. The Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park. It's nestled in between Napier and Hastings. Been a wonderful host venue yet again. Just see in the middle there we've got some shot put action about to get underway. It's the para shot put. And also not too far away from a couple of the wonderful events at any track and field. It is the 1500 metres, sponsored by Hawke's Bay Orthodontics, and we saw a wonderful display yesterday by Laura Nagel to win the 5,000. She's going for the double. Catherine Camp, Cara McDermott, though, I'm sure will want to have a little bit to say about that. Holly Manning, who won the 800, she's going for the 800 1500 double.
Yeah, a few different interesting narratives to play out with this 1500. One of the big events anytime our New Zealand champs arrive. The 1500 metres is one that you want to park yourself in front of the couch because it's always tactical, always interesting. Here we go. Senior women's 1500 metre final.
Right on the outside, 4.93 with the sunglasses on. That there is Laura Nagel, and it'll be interesting to see how Laura wants to try and play this. Does she want to get to the front and try and control?
Yeah, we've got Cara McDermott there just holding the rail at the moment. So she's the bronze medalist from the mile champs earlier, which Laura won. But yeah, what effect will that 5,000 metre have? I know when I wake up in the morning from a 5,000 metres, I do not feel like running, let alone trying to win a 1,500 metre title. But she's in an entirely different league from me and having the season of her life. So she goes to the front now, just applies a bit of pressure, and look, she's come here with a bit of intention to play ball.
Yeah, well, she's going to lead them through that first 300. Hayden will give us the split when they come through to complete their first full circuit of the Hawke's Bay Regional Sports Park. Holly Manning, you can just see the blonde hair, fourth back in the running line there, just on the outside. That's your 800 metres champion from yesterday, 4.14. Just nestled there just off the shoulder of Kerry White of Waikato Bay of Plenty. So it's Nagel who continues to pace them through 1:12.
Yeah, 1:12 at the halfway mark, which is 4:30. So that's quite a way off Laura Nagel's new personal best that she set just a couple of weeks ago. And a few of these other girls, you can see Cara McDermott there. She's ranked number 2 domestically in the 1500. So expect her to be pretty comfortable at this sort of pace. So 1:12, that's good and steady. It will put the pressure on some of those girls at the back, but that top lot of 6 runners there will be pretty comfy.
We talk about Holly Manning very good over the 800 metres. Do you expect Laura maybe to want to try and just step it up a little bit, because you won't want to leave too much energy in the legs of an 800 metre expert at the back end of a 1500?
Definitely not. And Cara McDermott, she's been focusing on the 800 as well this season, so she's been working on her top end speed. She definitely does not want to leave this to a bit of a lottery and allow the speed merchants a little open door. So good to see Laura just going at this from the front. We're going to get a split here at the 800 metres, which will give us a good indication as to how quick they're going, and bang on 4:30 pace again. So metronomic there from Laura.
So Laura with the advantage at the moment. That is Laura Nagel. She's got the lead from Cara McDermott, running in the black, the green, the white of Manawatu Wanganui. Holly Manning just outside, just catching a little bit of the breeze, just sliding through on the inside is Anika Grogan of Auckland. And then they've got a little bit of a gap back to the Irish woman Bridget Dennehy.
Yeah, Nika had a wonderful run at the Mile Champs in Wanganui earlier this year, and so she will be hoping to get herself back up into the medals. But these 4, it looks like it's going to come down to a little break that you can't see on screen there, as Laura just accelerates and starts to pull apart this National Senior Women's 1500 field. 3:13 on the bell.
400 to go, and Nagel accelerates. McDermott's hanging tough, though. Manning's got a bit of work to do in third at the moment. Grogan, too, getting dropped. But
wonderful running here from Laura. Look at that. She's just really opening up her stride now. I thought maybe she'd gone a little bit early as she hit that 800 metre mark and started to accelerate. But look at this gap. Look at this woman from Hawke's Bay. Moved up to Auckland, training under Paul Hamblin, the 1500 metre specialist. And here she goes, just showing her absolute domination of the sport this summer.
Yeah, she's just been in career best form, won the 5,000 last night beautifully, and she has cleared away from Cara McDermott. In fact, it's going to be a bit of a battle, because here comes that Manning push in the battle for silver and bronze. But gold medal, she's going to do the 1,500, 5,000 double, and she is going to do it in beautifully emphatic style.
Catherine
Laura
Camp also
Nagel
chasing hard for a medal, but it is Laura Nagel. She'll be your senior women's 1,500 metre champ. Holly Manning in second, Catherine Camp up for third place. We barely mentioned her during the race, but Laura Nagel, what a weekend, what a summer. 5,000 metres gold, the mile gold earlier in the season, the 3,000 gold earlier in the season, and now the magic 1,500 metres.
You see all the athletes going through. Nice sportsmanship, as we've seen all the way through. A few high fives around. There's her Babes training partner, the Irish woman Bridget Dennehy. And that there, I suppose, Hayden, if you want to copy a running style, you wouldn't be the worst one to copy. She just seems to have such great economy and movement, the way she carries herself, the carriage, I believe, is the technical term that you really into it running folks sort of use, and just easing up, and she knows it as well.
Absolutely wonderful last lap. After leading the whole way, that's I make that a 64-second lap, and just only a second and a half outside her own PB. To do that solo in a championship final is just phenomenal. I cannot wait to see this girl have a bit more company and to push her, under those 410s. She's certainly got the talent, and what a privilege it's been to see her put on a display this summer.
Have to feel a little bit for Cara McDermott, who I actually thought ran so well and maybe deserved that bronze medal, but timing her run nicely was Catherine Camp to snare that bronze medal, as we now see our athletes for the men's 1,500 make their way around.
Yeah, cool for Catherine Camp. She's had a struggle this season. Just hasn't been able to find that form that she's been used to over the last few years. Had a good run in Christchurch last week, but this week, obviously just timing her run to perfection, sat back in the pack and mowed down the stragglers in that tough final last 100 metres.
Well, you can see down.
There's
see
the
down
cameraman coming running.
There's Laura Nagel, there's Sarah Cowley-Ross, and here comes our wonderful stream shot cameraman. trotting around. They've done a great job over the course of the 3 days, and we can already hear them down there. We can hear that we've got Sarah and Laura down there, so let's head down to the lady that's done the 1,500, 5,000 double. She's currently with Sarah Cowley-Ross.
Well, I've got Laura Nagel here, fresh from her win last night in the 5,000 and her first senior women's title in the 15. Laura Nagel, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it was tough. I know, I was super nervous going in, which is kind of unlike me, but yeah, it was good.
Do you think the nerves was because you were going for your first title, and this is a prestigious event in distance running?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said a couple of weeks ago, I still feel like I'm not a 1,500 runner, so, and like anything can happen on the day. Holly's got a kick, Kat's got a kick, like, I'm like, how much can I know, push them out of that kick kind of thing. So no, it was good. Yeah.
Well, you laid it down in that last, certainly that last 400, great last 300, 200. You're talking about the sort of times you run for 200. But let's go back to Holly Manning. She's had a great championship as well. And about her kick, how great is it to see the strength of New Zealand women's distance running come up?
Oh, it's epic, and I know, like, I've done a wee bit of training with Holly every time I come home, and I know what it's like to come back from the States and worry about, like, not PBing after doing that. So it's so cool to see, and, like, I think we're all just, yeah, quite friendly outside of competition. Then when the competition comes on, it's like, yeah, beast mode, let's go.
Beast mode, let's go. Well, beast mode has been on throughout the championships. 2 national titles this weekend. Just a final reflection on Hawke's Bay. This is your home track. A message for all the volunteers that have been out here this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they've been amazing. I think every time I come here, everyone just seems so relaxed too, which is really great to be an athlete and have that kind of atmosphere. And I mean, I don't know how they're all doing it with masks on and the sun has finally come out. So, yeah, no, it's really cool, and thanks to everyone for making this happen. I know it's not easy at the moment, so, yeah, big thanks to them from all of us athletes.
Yeah, well, Laura, fantastic season, domestic season, fantastic championships. Our national champion over 5,000 metres and 1,500 metres. We cannot wait as you build into your preparation for Paris 2024. Back to you guys in the commentary box.
There you go. The Smiling Beast may have to be her new nickname there, if that's the beast mode that she engages. But Laura Nagel doing the 5,000 yesterday, winning the 1,500, and you can see the big smile on her face. So there you see Lisa Adams.
Yeah, the shot put circle is about to light up again for another day. We had a great shot put competition with Jacko and Tom battling it out. Tom edging out Jacko yesterday.
So there we see we've already had 3 competitors through, including Holly Robinson, of course better known with Javelin in hand. And over there, now we see that 1,500 metres brought to you by Hawke's Bay Orthodontics. And this is going to be an interesting wee race. The man second down, the top 2 there actually, Sam Tanner of Waikato Bay of Plenty, Julian Oakley also of Waikato Bay of Plenty. We saw Julian working in tandem with Hayden Wild yesterday in the 5,000 metres. And I've got to ask the question, Hayden Shearman, I mean, Julian sort of just eased back a little bit and let Hayden go and do his thing. How much do you think this race, which is now underway, was on Julian's mind by choosing to ease back, as you see those 2 Waikato Bay of Plenty runners, Tanner and Oakley, on the inside, as it's the Cantabrian moving to the front?
Absolutely. I think Julian would have been in 2 minds as to whether to go for the 5,000 yesterday or just to focus on reclaiming this 1,500 metre title, because he's well aware of the class of that man with the moustache who we've been waiting all summer long to see appear once again on the track. He ran a PB in windy conditions in the 800 just last week in Christchurch and is willing now to just take things out. He's probably got the best kick of them all.
I was going to say, how much is this maybe Sam Tanner saying, hey, I saw you, Julian Oakley. I saw what you tried to do with Hayden Wild. I'm going to see if I can just really make that lactic acid build up in the legs for the final 400.
Absolutely, and he's gone out at sub 4 minute mile pace, so we're sitting at what's that, 59 seconds through the first lap, and you see a little gap there back to Harry Ewing, who's just saying, come on Sam, this is still Sunday morning, this isn't what we asked for. We're all on PB pace here, and maybe this is his plan really, just to take the gamble out of it and just say, look, there's only 2 of us in this field who have dipped below 3:40. We've got 4 sub-4 minute milers in the field. But Sam's backing himself to really take it out nice and hard, and knowing that probably Julian will be the only one that would be able to track him all the way to the finish at this sort of pace.
We've got to say, it would be a slightly more different race if this was just a straight one-off final, but it is timed finals. They have seeded. So your top runners are in this first heat. There will be a second heat to come as well, but I guess we're maybe for a traditional straight 1,500 metre final, it might be a smidge more tactical as Tanner takes them through. That was another 59-second lap by the looks of it, Hayden Shem, and he's spread them out a little bit here, the young fella.
Oh, is he? What? Look at that little gap there. It's almost reminiscent of the great Steve Prefontaine, another mustachioed runner from back in the 70s who used to run exactly these sorts of tactics, go hard from the bell and let everyone else do the chasing. So we've got Harry Ewing in second, then it's Julian Oakley, and then we've got Matthew Taylor, who has medalled in this event before. He's a new sub-4 minute miler. Then Russ Green and Ollie Chignell. So some real class runners back there who will want to be seeing if they can hunt this man down, but they will have their work cut out for them, because I make that about a 15-metre lead that Sam is building up on the bell. 2:43. I'm going to write it down and see if these guys can chew it down, because there's a 3-second lead back to Julian Oakley.
This is a heck of a front-running performance. Hugo Prefontaine, I think Philbert Bailly, 1974, on that extraordinary Commonwealth Games, 1,500 metres in Christchurch. Oakley, the advantage he has, a wee look to Sam Tanner. He knows he's starting to feel it. Oakley, though, that lead still around about that 20-metre mark. 200 metres to go for Sam Tanner.
Really going for it now, and a big shout out to Craig Kirkwood at home, and also Sam Tanner's new wife, who will be glued to the screen watching this action as Sam's run it from the bell. Can he hold on? He's got 100 metres to go. The pack is chasing. The pack is trying to hunt him down, led by Julian Oakley.
Oakley, I don't think he's got enough time. I think this is Tanner's. This time is going to be super sharp as well.
Big battle
Oakley
for third.
digging it in. The run coming through. Sam Tanner, though, runs 3:42. Oakley claims the silver. And who nabbed the bronze? It looked like an Otago.
I think it was Ollie Chignell, which is a huge performance from Ollie, who's had a tough old season by his standards. So if he can pull through for a bronze, that would be a big reward for Ollie. But man, what a race from Sam. Just going from the gun, coming in with some tactics, saying, I would love to just take this one out from the front. And look at these scenes. We talked about Laura with great technique. Sam's got beautiful running economy as well. So light on his feet. No wasted movements there, aside from a little look over the shoulder just to make double sure. But there he is. He won this national title back in 2019 off a very tactical race. He's shown here that he can do the exact opposite, run from the gun and just blow the field apart.
You got to feel a little bit for Julian Oakley, because in any other year we could be talking about him doing the Laura Nagel 15-5 double, but he comes up against the VO2 max beast that is Hayden Wild, and then Sam Tanner, who's, I really think Sam sort of saw that and said, right, I'm just going to take a wee bit of an advantage on it.
As we go over to Lisa Adams, the action's coming thick and fast. So Lisa Adams, New Zealand record in her category is that world record of 15.50. So we're looking for a mark somewhere between that 16 and 14 metre marker, hopefully up towards the 16.
So she's thrown so far 13.89. So 13.89 so far, the best for Lisa Adams, who we just saw in the throwing circle. There she is.
So interesting little bit of an analysis. I've written down the splits there from Sam and Julian. We talked about Julian having tired legs, and there we see 14.31. Good start there from Lisa in round 2. So takes the lead. Holly Robinson, awesome to see her in the shot put circle. So last lap, Sam did slow up. He ran about a 59, so he held pace.
He slowed up
compared to Julian Oakley's 56 off tired legs from yesterday. So it's pretty impressive to see that he still had those wheels, and it was Ollie Chignell who came through for the bronze. I'm just waiting for the results. Yes, it was. So 3:43.78 for Ollie. Matthew Taylor just nudged out of the medals on this occasion, 3:43.93, and then just another 0.06 back to Russ Green in fourth. Great scenes in the 1500.
We got plenty of action going on. You see the discus, which is underway. We've also got the long jump and the women's heptathlon. Each athlete there with just one more jump to go. We've got the para shot put. That one there into the side. There was Jade Zara of Otago. He's currently in second spot was Jade. He's with a 46.45. Let's head over now to the long jump. That's Christina Ryan of Canterbury. There's a great wee battle developing between she and Maddie Wilson. Both of them could be on for some pretty good marks overall in the heptathlon. So Ryan so far with the best of 5:63. She gets the white flag. Back, that's Joden Pratton of Canterbury. It's his second attempt. He had 37.98 in his opener. There is that heptathlon. Thank you very much to the team at Mammoth, who've been a great sponsor. There you see, so really tight. Ryan only just ahead of her young Canterbury clubmate, Maddie Wilson.
Oh, it's so great to have these two women going head to head, and of course Alice having a good day at the office as well. So Christina had 2 all-time personal bests in day one, and Maddie had 1 all-time personal best. So that's not just in a heptathlon, that's all-time, doing individual events as well. So really cool to see.
There's Kieran Fowler. That's a nice throw. That'll be over the in and around that 40-metre mark. Here comes the second heat of the men's 1500. So when we refer to a timed event, so the 2 heats, they just slot them into a spreadsheet, combine the times. It's going to take some effort, an absolutely mammoth PB from one of these athletes if they are to trouble any of the medalists from the first heat. They do tend to seed them based on personal bests. It's not impossible, but it is unlikely, as we see Alice Taylor. Her best so far has been a 4:70. As they look to measure that particular event for Alice, as our second heat of the men's 1500 metres gets underway.
Yeah, so quite a few of these runners have dipped well below 4. So expect a time somewhere around 3:50 if it is a speedy race. But as we know with 1500 metres at National Champs, it's not necessarily fast as we see the brakes go on, the elbows come out, a little bit of pushing and shoving, and they're gone into more Sunday jog pace. This is probably more like the pace that I was doing when I came down here for a little workout. So a bit more friendly, this sort of pace. We can see quite a few Cantabs in the field. That's Daniel Roswell just leading things out from William Little.
I'll tell you as well, just to quickly back over to the long jump there, we saw a good jump by Christina Ryan, 5:63, her best. Sorry, extending her, she had a 4:93, Christina Ryan. That's Connor Bell. And that's Connor Bell going big. It's a good throw from Connor. Not so nice, isn't it, to see Connor back in the throwing circle as we watch this 1500 metre advance.
Chris Dryden had a great cross-country champs last year. I believe he picked up the bronze medal in that event. And so he's probably more the strength athlete in this field. And so wanting to just get that pace ticking along. You can see by the way it's turned from a big bunch ride into more the time trial formation with everyone locked in. That's a good sign that the pace has been injected. So good to see that. Ben Bidwar from Waikato Bay of Plenty, he's just tucked in behind there. He's got one of the best PBs in this field with a 3:52. As we just get a little gust of wind, picks up our notes and sends them flying. So that's an indication that northeasterly that was predicted to pick up has arrived. So that'll be a little headwind for these boys as they come round onto the back straight for the third time.
Just a quick update. We've just seen the third throw from Lisa Adams, just over 13 metres. And after she delivered it, she had a real long look at her fingers. It really seemed as though it's not that it came out lightly, because you don't throw a shot put 13 metres, but it just seemed there was some issue. She sort of looked down at her hand, and so Lisa, though, still with a comfortable advantage at the moment, having thrown 14 metres 31 back to the 15.
Yeah, still Chris Dryden leading up Ben Bidwar, and then we can also see William Little just getting amongst it. Good field of cantabs in this field, and great work from Chris Dryden, just stepping on the pace. And now here comes William Little, the 22-year-old out of Canterbury. They go through and get the bell bang on 3 minutes. Let's see how this last 400 metres plays out. Will Little being prepared to just accelerate around the bell. Chris Dryden's been pushed back into the pack, and these three are starting to just inch away a little.
Good break. Bit of gritting of teeth being done there as they battle down. There's not that much of a headwind. I think that there is just straight. The pain of a 1,500. 200 metres to go in this one.
Dan Roswell moves up to the front. We've lost William Little. Off he goes. Dan, really good change of pace there as Ben Bidwar's the only one trying to stick with him. It's our Tasman athlete doing well to track them down, Angus Weymouth. But look at this huge finish here from Daniel Roswell in the B final of the 1,500 metres. It's going to finish up with a good time. It won't challenge the medals, but a wonderful kick with 2:50 to go. Ben Bidwar will take third, and then it was our Tasman athlete Angus Weymouth picking up the third position in that race. Great running from those boys. Cool to see Chris Dryden make the pace honest and get a lot of boys under that 4-minute mark.
Continue. That's Jade Zaya of Otago. His opening throw of 46.45 metres, so 46 metres, 45 centimetres. Fouled out on his second throw. So plenty going on the field at the moment. As I say, we've got shot put, we've got discus. You see confirmation of those times there with Daniel Roswell beating home Ben Bidwar with Dylan Ford. Your top three dipping underneath the 4-minute mark. So too is Angus Weymouth of Tasman. So as we see the decathlon are over at the pole vault. And there you see, that's Nick Fee with the bar at 2 metres 60 for Nick. Again, just trying to get those points. In terms of Aaron Booth, we've been using that comparison from his University Games gold medal on that particular occasion, 4.8 metres for Aaron. So again, he's trying to hit that 8,000. He's got a little bit of ground to make up, which he lost a bit in the hurdles to open, but then reclaimed it with a very good throw in the discus. This is the 8th of the 10 disciplines for our decathletes. We've just seen the heptathletes as well complete another rotation.
So of course that's a little mixture of events there. You can see some of the discus throws down below there as we click through some of the other results. So at the moment it's early stages in this pole vault competition. Nick Fee, he's the new addition to multi-eventing in New Zealand, so still early stages for him with the men's pole vault, one of the more technical events, but really cool to see Nick crossing over from a successful basketball career and taking up the decathlon.
Well, that was Kieran Fowler there, and his throw previous was 44.46, having fouled off in the opening throw of his event. We're in the third round of the senior men's discus using the 2 kg implement. 47.91 for Kieran, which pushes him up into second spot. So Kieran moving up into that position. He's another Otago athlete. That is Hugh McLeod-Jones. So, moves, nice whip. Trying to get that one out there. He's got a best so far, but he's got a red flag. So, here is Fee. Can't get over that one. Good effort, though, by Nick. The main thing from Nick's point of view there is he does have a mark against his name. He does have a height. He has cleared, I think it was an attempt at 260. So he does, though, have a mark on the ground. There we see the discus. And great to see Connor Bell back in the mix. There he is, Connor. He's asking for a little bit of noise for some people if they can hear him.
So he's got a best so far this morning of 57.96. So getting up towards that 60-metre mark, which is good to see. He's a strong young man.
Yeah, that's very close to 60 right there. That there, I think, could be in the region 58, 59 possibly. It would be interesting to see whether it's an improvement on that opening throw that you allude to, Hayden, of 57.96. That the breeze just slightly into them. But he is one of the really good technicians in the circle. Really deliberate, nice and relaxed. Just watch the feet. Beautiful pirouette. Really rips with the arms as well.
He also really enjoys throwing at this ground. So he set his personal best here last year at the Potts Classic, 64.29. We haven't seen him open up this season, so this is the first time we've been able to see Connor, and he's only, 70-odd centimetres, 74 centimetres off Ian Winchester's New Zealand record from back in 2002. So, look, Connor being just, 20 years of age today, and he's already within less than a metre of the national record. You would put your money on him going north of that at some stage in his career, potentially at some stage in the next half hour. Let's wait and see.
You just saw Jared Neighbours there, who won gold this morning in the Javelin. He has just put down his best throw of the competition to move up to fourth, 43.65.
Max Teodora in the pole vault in the decathlon. Looking good. Good bed game going on. Good man bun. Liking it.
So 270 was that mark that Max has just cleared. Now, again, the great debate is at what point, if you are Aaron Booth, where do you come in? So there you see Holly Robinson. The numbers for Holly, of course, we know her more as an Olympic javelin thrower, and a mighty fine one at that. But gee, that's pretty consistent throwing as well with a shot put. All around, we're looking between 10.9 and 10.8. There you see Lisa Adams. There you go, another one. 10.94 for Holly. Very consistent throwing. Here's Lisa Adams, world record holder, New Zealand record holder, Oceania record holder. 14.31, so a little bit off that mark, which is over 15 metres.
Powerful right leg driving across the circle, getting it out towards that 16-metre mark, and that's what we want to see. That 15.50 is her world record.
Well, that one there, she went with a slightly, you saw a flatter trajectory. The first throw, the one where she was sort of looking at her fingers a little bit. I like that technique from Matthew Wyatt. Like that a lot.
It's not exactly textbook, but it does the job, doesn't it?
It's effective.
It doesn't matter how you do it, how you look when you get over. It's just about getting over.
And getting the numbers. It's all about getting the numbers. That was 14.23, by the way, for Lisa Adams. So a lot of the action currently at the moment. Una Kingill-Redding of Canterbury. Pushing that one out there.
So
currently with throws of very consistent. I mean, incredibly consistent here from Una. She's had an 8.23, two 8.24s, and an 8.25.
Incredible.
You cannot get more consistent than what that lady on your
you
screen
could put a little
is delivering right
matchbox
now.
on the ground and just nail the matchbox every time with the shot. Incredible.
I'm sure she'd like
Accuracy.
to maybe push it a bit further, and she does there.
Oh.
She's delivered an 8.44, so another 20-odd centimetres. There's Joden Pratton. Again, another very consistent thrower, but he's not happy with that one. And so he walks out the front and takes the red flag. Again, around between 37 and 38. Nathaniel Sulupo. As we are bouncing around, that's Matthew White. Seems to be having a whale of a time. Clearing 290. There's Max Teodora. You see Wyatt's clearance there, so 4 good clearance so far. Here's Teodora. His first attempt is at 290. Clatters with that one there. And as you say, this is one of the really difficult events in terms of learning, so you'll see a few just sort of maybe not as classical with the big bow and the pole, the arch and the driving off the top, pirouetting over the top of the bar.
Sulupo there. He's got a best so far from round 3 of 41.46. So leading the competition in the men's discus is Connor Bell with that 57.96. And then we've got Jade Zaya with a 46.45. He's in second. And then Kieran Fowler with a 47.91. So back to the women's para shot.
It's Shannon Murphy. He's been bouncing around multiple events. Another model of consistency there is Shannon with that best of 752. White flag over there for another one of our Otago athletes.
Now we know that Holly Robinson is an absolute beast with the javelin, but she does also hold the New Zealand record in her classification in the shot. So she's throwing the 4 kg shot, and her mark that she'll be aiming for is 11.68. That's the New Zealand record for F46.
I think your best was 10.88 so far this morning. We can double check on that very shortly. So it's there. Like, that was Caitlin Dory you saw in the background. And Caitlin, well, a good consistent thrower at the moment. We've just seen some more. Jared Neighbours. He's gone marks in the 41, then up to the 42, then to the 43. We see some of our medalists from the track earlier on, the 400 metres para. Here's Teodora. Over. And that's all that matters. Jared continues to improve. He's gone from a 41 to a 42 to a 43, and now he's just throwing in his 4th attempt to 44. Here's Lisa Adams. Here's Zaya. Rips that. Doesn't like it. Just walked straight out the front. Knew it out of the hand. Didn't want a bar of it. Here's Lisa. Best so far today of 14.31. That last throw was a 14.23. Whistles in. They're a bit flatter, and she just does a wee tap dance on the stop board. Don't bother measuring it. Don't want to know. Nowhere near what I can do. As we move back to Matt
And
Wyatt.
over he goes.
Bars up at 3.
Successful. not graceful, but successful. Well, I should talk. I'm the 2 metre pole vaulter.
Well,
yeah, so.
But what it is, though, is, again, we just talk about it. It's all about accumulation of points.
Exactly. And this is the stage in the weekend where these decathletes are starting to feel the pinch of what their bodies had to do through, what are we up to, 7 events now?
This is the 8th event.
8th event, unbelievable. It's
and
not even lunchtime on Sunday morning.
As Sarah Cowley-Ross sort of alluded to, I mean, this particular event with the pole vault, just with so many parts involved, there's the speed aspect, there's the accuracy aspect as well. You want to make sure that you're planting that pole in the right position. There's the technical aspect, the strength to sort of pull you up and over the top. So it's this one here, as you said, this is the one for the decathletes where they really start to feel it. Connor Bell.
Oh,
yes,
love it.
Oh, that's significant.
This is huge from Connor Bell.
That's 60 north.
Finally up into the 60s. He's been sitting in those late 50s all morning long. Remember, his personal best is 64.29. New Zealand record 65.03.
I think it's easy 60, maybe sneaking to 61, but gee, he launched that nice. Let's take a look at it. Again, I just love the relaxed nature of this guy in the throwing circle. And watch the explosion. Boom, big rip on that one. Nice balance right through. So we wait for the mark to come up. It's got to be at least 60. At minimum. We sit, we wait. Don't worry about those numbers underneath. They were from the hammer throw yesterday.
I can tell you that Nathaniel Sulupo has moved into the bronze medal position with his 4th round throw. There he is on screen, wearing number 714 with a 46.56. So he just nudges Jade Zaya out of the medals for the time being. Kieran Fowler is sitting in second place with that 47.91. So they're your medalists at the moment as we are midway through round 4. Still waiting for that score to come through.
Yeah, I tell you what, they're taking their time here with this one.
I think they've gone to find a longer tape measure.
They're just sitting there waiting. He's just sitting there. He's waiting. He's looking. You can see it at the screen. So just using the that particular measurement device. There you see our official holding on. Connor Bell looking. He knows it's a good one. Just wants to see what the number says. So, a little bit of frustration as he continues to wait. We all continue to wait. We believe it's a throw in excess of 60. Always hard to tell with the curvature of the throwing arc, not having the benefits of those wonderful graphics that you might see on the likes of a Diamond League or an Olympics or a Commonwealth Games. Continues to sit and wait, peering over the shoulder of the official. As we continue to wait.
The official's just saying, no, let me do my job.
Don't
confuse
me.
me.
It's a come on, let me know.
Use the tape measure. I'll stride it out. I'll get out there and just give a rough estimate.
Well, 59.67. Oh. Well, gee. I felt for sure that was 60 and then some.
That's interesting.
It's his
I wonder
best.
if that's why he was sort of hovering around, wondering what was going on.
Well, it's his best throw of his set so far, which again has been really consistent between 56.5 now up to 59 metres 69. I thought for sure that was over the 30, but again a reminder about the awkwardness of that angle. There's
yes.
Wyatt over again. And a nice bow for the crowds as well. Ever the showman Wyatt. That's 310. Again, we just point out all the different points.
Is he onto a new technique here? Is this the beginnings of the new Fosbury flop for the pole vault?
just to get the heck over. So a 3 metre vault for Matthew would earn him 357 points. He's added on another 10 centimetres, so that takes him up now to 381.
Lisa Adams back in the shot put circle. What are we up to now? Round 5?
This will be your penultimate throw.
Right. So it hasn't quite cracked into the 15s, but been consistently up into the low 14s. Oh, that one could be closer out to that 16-metre mark.
They don't have to bother measuring it because it's got a red flag. There's
another one.
Sulupo
in the bronze medal position. Can he improve? He'd need to get up into the... Oh, well, he'd need to get up above 47.91. That's the one he's chasing to get into the silver.
There, I think will be probably again the mid-40s for Nathaniel.
Yeah, that angle on screen is quite deceptive. It's definitely more mid-40s.
Well, I thought that last one a Connor Bell. There you go, 44.97 for Nathaniel Sulupo of Wellington. Still maintaining the bronze medal position in the senior men's discus. So there was the completion of that. So it is another national title in the young career of Lisa Adams. 14.31. Holly Robinson with 11.17. Caitlin Dory, another long-time shot put para athlete. She'll claim the bronze. Shona Murphy there, 7.52. And Miriam Jenkins with a 6 metre 9 effort. But Lisa Adams rack up another title.
Yep, now the only shot putter in her particular family.
So we were joking before how nice it must be. She'll have a full-time coach if
yes.
Dame Val decides that's what she wants to do. But yeah, we talk about the legacy that Dame Valerie has left with regards to the inspiring of athletes across not only track and field but other spheres of sporting endeavour as well. As Jared Neighbours sends that one out. And the fact that obviously as well too with the sister coming involved and doing the shot put as well. It's always great to see.
Yeah, so no recent changes in this competition. It remains Nathaniel Sulupo in third place. In second place with that third round throw of 47.91 is Kieran Fowler. But out front with a commanding lead is that 59.67, inching up closer into the 60s. And surely that most recent throw from Connor Bell will give him a bit of energy, bit of excitement to think that, yep, I'm back in 60-something shape.
Yeah, well, this is the last, I think the penultimate round. So here is Jade Zaya, currently sitting in fourth spot at the moment. So he's had 4 throws. It's that one.
That's good.
Yeah, that's got the officials backing up a wee bit.
Yeah. So his best so far was that 46.45, which he threw out the gate in round 1. And he's been struggling ever since to get back to that, but that could well push him up into the high 40s. He looks reasonably happy.
Of course, we've had the first 3 rounds, so now they reverse the order so that our leading athletes, you saw the big fist pump. He rates that. So I think we're going to see he's up into second. 47.95 from Jade.
That's huge. Huge from Jade. That bumps Nathaniel Sulupo out of the middle position. Kieran Fowler remains in the medals with that 47.91. But edged out for silver for the time being. Jade Zaya moving up to silver.
Can you reply? I tell you what, that's not a bad response. Good effort just trying to gauge that angle. I don't know if it's going to be enough for a throw of over around that 48, which is what he's looking for. Probably looking around 46, 45. As we see Matt White preparing for his next height in the pole vault. There you go, 46.51 for Kieran Fowler as it comes through. So he maintains third spot. And now Connor Bell on the back of that throw, just shy of 60 metres. Took a long time to measure. Really ripped that last one. It was a 59 metre, 67 centimetre throw. That's a great angle.
Here we go. One of the futures, well, the present of New Zealand throwing, getting the discus out.
That's
that
60. That got to be 60, doesn't it?
Got to be 60, surely.
Mind you, I thought that of the last one, so I'm the worst person to listen to, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But if that's not a, well, that's another good throw. And, you know, it's great to see Connor back in the circle, as Hayden Sherman said. Still a very young man, lots of time. I thought the last one was 60, and it was 33 centimetres short. Just this wonderful, great speed, even in slow. You know you're quick when you look fast in slow motion, and that's flowing beautifully. There's the 60 we were wanting, 60.78 from Connor Bell.
Oh, yeah.
So he's just been really just steadily building. We're not too far away from a 3,000 metre steeplechase. There's Joden Pratton with what will be his final effort of this event. Here's Matt White, who's just continuing to wait for his next opportunity in the pole vault. 320. You see in the background, 121. That is Aaron Booth, your leader. Here's Nathaniel Salupo. So this is go time for Nathaniel. Love to go home with a medal. He's just on the outside looking in at the moment, the big Wellingtonian. As we've just had the combined results of the 1,500 metres put in front of us in confirmation. Sam Tanner gold, Julian Oakley silver, Ollie Chignall bronze. Wonderful front-running display.
Can Nathaniel get back into the medals here in the discus?
Needs to find about 1.5 metres.
With the camo tights on, heaves that discus out of bounds, unfortunately.
He knew it as well. He actually walked out the side into the front.
So he will finish in 4th place. But he's had a good showing. Certainly challenged those boys. So 46.56. And, you know, not far off. Needed to find another metre and a bit to edge himself back into that medal position.
Matthew Wyatt. 320 on the bar in his second attempt in the men's decathlon. So here's McLeod Jones. That's into the side. Here's Hyatt. Just clips. So we'll have one more attempt at that mark. We get ready for the 3,000 metre steeplechase presented by Shoe Clinic. Eva Pringle, Amanda Holliap and Anika Grogan. 3,000 metres, so there you see them. Start at the midway point of the front straight. They'll make 7 circuits. Obviously that little extra as they push out to the water jump. That's Hoyer, the taller of the two in the middle. Eva Pringle, the Cantabrian. And Anika Grogan. Anika having come off the 1,500 as well this morning.
So Amanda Hollier, she's got a full complement of medals in this event, picking up the silver last year, the gold in 2020 and the bronze in 2019. So she should get another medal in this event if she can find her way to the finish line. But what colour will that be? We'll need to find out. We've got the youngster, Eva Pringle, out of Canterbury.
Sorry, just watching Jade Zire at the back. Sorry to do that to you, Hayden, but just watching Jade Zire with a throw which is going to be, if it's
pretty close to that 50-metre mark.
I'd say it might just
solid.
be a smidge behind, but a really good throw just to reinforce that position in second spot after his 47.95-metre throw. So this one here could be around the 49.50 mark. Are we somewhere in that zone, one suspects? As we see our athletes head towards the water jump for the first time.
Yes,
48.59 it was for Jade Zire. 48.59.
Solid, moves up another metre.
He just lays it down again for Kieran Fowler, who's now got to find himself another metre and a half to reclaim silver.
Anika Grogan with a bit of crowd support there in the steeplechase. First water jump done, and whoa, out we go.
He was really flicking that one hard, just trying to find that little extra. Here's Wyatt. Again, that's his final effort at 3:20. He's cleared 3:10. And just they'll give him a couple of extra points. And now we wait for Connor Bell. Well, he's just steadily built. Started just short of 58, then 56.5. Another one closer to 57, then just short of 60. In his last throw, 60.78. 60 metres, 78 centimetres. He will be your national discus champion again. Let's see if he can reach back and really pop one for his final throw of the event.
Oh, yes.
That's flowing well. That's flowing very well, and he acknowledges the support from the officials and some of the other coaches that have been there. That's a really nice set by Connor Bell. All throws legal. The shortest one just over 56.5.
So here's a smiling Anika Grogan leading out Eva Pringle. So these two keeping nice and close together. So Eva Pringle, she's won the junior title, the under-20 title in this event, now moving up into the senior grades. Anika has also won multiple junior titles in the steeples, but never a senior title.
Just confirming Connor Bell's last throw there, 60 metres 66. It was his penultimate throw of 60 metres 78, which has claimed him yet another national senior men's discus title. And it's a very good performance by, as I say, just 22 years of age, that young man coming back. And we talk about the wonderful potential he's got as well. A lot of growing, a lot of physical strength still to be able to put into that frame over the course of the next 5 or so years.
Yeah, he's actually only 20 years of age.
20, excuse me.
It, just turned 20 in late January. So, like you say, he's got a lot of power to add to the athleticism that he's already got. You usually see throwers really come into their peak form mid to late 20s. So, expect him to really be rising to his best come Paris Olympics in 2 and a bit years' time. Man, that's coming around.
I was going to say, well, the Tokyo being sort of, even though they called it Tokyo 2020, it was held in 21, so it has sort of thrown I guess maybe some of that wee rhythm out. Obviously, just this year we're looking forward to the Commonwealth Games, World Championships, and the like coming through. The Under-20 World Championships coming back into the system as well, which is great.
Interesting. These two have the exact same PB in terms of 10.50 for the 3,000 metre steeples. So no wonder that they are tracking each other neck and neck, well, toe to toe, because on paper they are exactly the same, and really cool to see this battle unfold. They'll be coming up to the halfway mark shortly. I'm loving the way that Anika's just jogging along, smiling, really enjoying being out there competing for her final event of the weekend.
Just going through the 1,500, just over over 5 minutes, as we see a nice clearance at 360 by Josh Woodhead, a Hawke's Bay Gisborne decathlete.
And maybe just a little gap there. Eva allowing that bungee cord to stretch. Ooh. That's always a bit scary. Maybe just caught a spike on top of that. So you can see Eva just easing back a bit, maybe a little wobble to a step as well. So that's not what you want to see. Hopefully Eva's okay. But Anika continues to smile, enjoying a bit of a splash of cold water to cool her down.
You know, what concerned me was just that initial hop there from Eva, that you really sort of relate to maybe sometimes when a muscle in that lower part of the leg maybe sort of had got a little bit of a twinge. That was my initial concern, but she's continuing on, but she has obviously just fallen behind in terms of the pace that is currently being set by Anika. You're right, looks like she's having an absolute whale of a time out there, doesn't she? Lovely smile on her face.
She is really enjoying it, and cool to see. The Steeples is probably an event that as a nation we haven't embraced as much as we could have. But certainly the depth that we have in mountain running and cross country and athletes that love to jump over stuff and run through mud. We've certainly got lots of athletes around the country who would be well suited to this event. So if you're sitting at home watching this thinking, what could I focus on and make my own, definitely a challenge to all your athletes to get out there, practice with the hurdles, practice that water jump.
I think Hayden Sherman actually described it better. Probably let's just officially rename it from the 3,000 metre steeplechase to the 3,000 metres with obstacles.
Or 3,000 metre parkour.
well, you don't see them sort of landing, rolling, forward, flipping.
That would be great.
I'm sure my mate Dr. Damien Puddle, who's very heavy into the parkour community, head of the New Zealand Parkour Association. Here we go. Hang on, you keep your mitts off my athletes.
Just clips it on the way down. Had the height.
There's Ethan Phillips. There is Anika Grogan.
Yeah, Anika looking really smooth. So she was the silver medalist at the New Zealand Mile Champs. So she has a good set of wheels, we know that, and she's done a fair few steeples over in the States when she was in the collegiate system. So she's had experience.
That was actually something I was going to ask you yourself and Sarah at the moment, because obviously, you know, we've get regular views now, not only of our senior athletes, but also our outstanding age group athletes coming through as well. Putting you a little bit on the spot here, but just sort of off the top of your head, sort of how many New Zealand athletes do we have over in that very good US collegiate system at the moment, the NCAA, etc.?
That's a very good question. I know that the high performance team keep a sort of tally of who's over there and who's doing what. But I would want to say that each year we'd probably send, 10 women, 10 men, usually in the distance running. That's they're short on distance runners in the States. Sprinters, they have plenty over there, so difficult for our sprinters to get scholarships. And then we've got a few throwers as well over there doing it. But certainly, off the top of my head, I'd say something like 10 per gender every year. So usually 19 years of age, you finish off year 13, spend 8 or 9 months in New Zealand just hanging out, enjoying the summer before heading over to the States and making a career of it.
Down for the bell. Here comes Anika Grogan.
Yes, this is going to be the bell. This is going to be actually a really fantastic time. She's going to smash her PB. Great running there. So her PB's 10:50. That's the PB that I've got. She may well have done another performance that's not included on the Athletics New Zealand rankings. But she's got a good 100-metre lead back to Eva Pringle, who we can say is still running and doesn't look like she has tweaked anything with that little half stumble that she had.
Well, that's good as we see another gold medal for Lisa Adams, another bit of silverware for the fabulous Holly Robinson as well.
And just a few little stutter steps to make sure Anika is clear. She's got 2 more of these barriers to go. One of them is the water jump, where a lot of her training buddies are standing by with the cameras and cheering her along. She's been smiling all the way through. Double foot landing just to make sure. Keeps the body in one piece, and she will have 1 more barrier to go before claiming the national title in the senior women's 3,000 metre steeples.
Comes up to her Auckland teammate Amanda Hollier. She goes over, does Anika Grogan. There is your 3,000 metre national champion of 2022. And Amanda just makes sure she gets to the start-finish line so she doesn't get lapped. I suspect there's a little bit of teammate rivalry there.
Love it. That's the first senior national title for Anika, so huge moment for her, so congratulations.
Huge moment as well over at the pole vault in the decathlon, because Ethan Phillips, who went into the pole vault sitting in second spot ahead of Matthew Wyatt, has failed to register a height. 3 misses at 360 for Ethan Phillips.
That's tough.
Well, it's really hard because no mark, no points. That's going to bring Nick Fee into play. Matthew Wyatt, who we saw ungainly. Maybe it wasn't as a prettier pole vaulting technique as you'd want to see, but effective because he's put numbers in.
Needs points.
So Wyatt now will jump ahead of Phillips, and Nick Fee's already put down a marker as well. It was only, I think it was 260 for Nick. But
some points are better than none.
No points at all.
That's the key.
As we're going to bring in...
Yeah, we'll bring in Sarah Kelly-Ross as the multi-event starts to really heat up, and we've got steeples going. So let's get all three of us in and analyse what's going on out there.
So Amanda Hollier just coming in to finish her 3,000 metres. The pole vault is now up to 3 metres 90. We'll just call Amanda over the line and then just get the knowledge of New Zealand decathlete, former New Zealand decathlete Sarah Kelly-Ross with regards to just how big a miss that is for young Ethan Phillips of Auckland, as Amanda comes down to the line to claim the bronze medal. So it's Grogan gold, Pringle with the silver, Hoyer with the bronze. And I looked at you, I pointed to the screen, Sarah Kelly-Ross, and that grimace on your face told me everything I needed to know, but you're probably going to have to verbalise that expression for the people watching on Sky Sport Next.
Well, it's devastating there for Ethan Phillips. No height, 0 points in an event, and there's just no coming back from that. And from someone that has done that multiple times over my career, it is just an absolute waste of a performance. That's what it is, and you're so mad with yourself because it's like he's got to this stage in the decathlon, and essentially it's over for him. That's what it's about. So I was over at the pole vault just as the boys were warming up, and I said to Aaron Booth's coach, what are we looking at for this height, this discipline? And all he said was, over the bar first.
Well, we can see...
Just get over the bar.
We can see Aaron warming up there just as we see the medalists for the senior women's triple jump from earlier this morning. There's Anna Thompson, Diana Izmagalova, and Alessandra McDonald. So now we see the 3,000.
Senior men's 3,000 metre steeples. Here we go. We've got Harry Ewing. Oh, no, he's not back.
George Guerin. There, we got that on the screen for you.
I thought we were going to see Harry. So Ewan Van der Peet, Jyn Van der Peet, I should say, Michael Sutton, George Guerin. And so our champion from last year is not back to partake, but Jyn Van der Peet makes a date every year. It's probably the first thing that he puts in his calendar is to come back and do the National Steeples Champs. And he's won this competition 2 times. Got a silver last year. And we'll see if Michael Sutton and George Guerin can mix it up. George had a good victory at the Capital Classic just a few weeks ago with a 9:14, beating Jyn by 3 seconds. And then Michael Sutton in that same event was 9:37. So expect a good little battle between George and Jyn.
You see our athletes there just getting themselves warmed up. They're going to have very nice conditions. The splash from the water jump, I think, will be quite a nice respite. There you see the breeze at the moment, which is at the back of our pole vaulters. As you just see Michael Sutton there just working through. They'll have a couple of warm-up jumps over the barriers. See that in the background from Jyn Van der Peet. Just keeping an eye. We just saw Joshua Woodhead over at the men's pole vault, the 8th discipline of the decathlon. Joshua with a miss at 3 metres 90. As you heard Sarah Cowley-Ross say, Aaron Booth just wants to get it started. Good handshakes like that to start. They all know they've got a medal as long as they get to the end, and we do have to say if they get to the end, because as it's been alluded to by Hayden and Sarah during the coverage already over the course of the 3 days, hurdles have a bit of give. You sort of knock them, they'll fall over. You bump a steeplechase barrier, they bite. They bite big time.
They are not going anywhere. They're solid lumps of wood and
just didn't stay. He's not far off it though.
Here we go. The senior men's 3,000 metre steeplechase. 3 men in it, 2 Cantabs. Waikato Bay Plenty athlete. And those 2 Cantabrians, expect them to fight it out. They both have PBs of, 9.14 for George Gurin and then 9.17 for Javelin. So this is going to be very, very close. And really a repeat of that Capital Classic matchup that we had 3 or 4 weeks ago. And straight out of the gun, George is prepared to take it on and really lead things out.
They're moving down just into that headwind. It's not a significant headwind, but it's, I'm sure it'll be kind of, I guess, cooling in a way for those particular athletes.
Here we go. Good look at their technique opening up. Nice and solid. 1 foot in the water, the other one over, which is a good sign. They're maintaining good momentum over that barrier. And we'll see if George is willing to hurdle. Yeah, nice hurdling technique from both these boys. So showing that they've put in a bit of work. They're not just going to skip over willy-nilly over the barriers. They are trying to conserve a little bit of energy while also making sure you're not cutting the lines too close. So George looking good, actually. Javelin doing his very best to stay close and not let that bungee cord stretch too much at the start.
Just keeping an eye as well. We're not too far away from another event. I think it's actually the penultimate event in the women's heptathlon with Taylor, Ryan and Wilson. It's warming up for the javelin. As you see, what is it? It's a really nice hurdling technique. It's being used by George Gurin. Here's Joshua Woodhead. This will be his last attempt at 390. Gets it! There we go, and yes, more points. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's great to get that on the board. That's his second height of the competition. So really valuable when you're going up in 10 centimetre increments to ensure you get those early heights and get into your work.
Now, Sarah, a little question for you as a distance runner, and there'll be a lot of distance runners watching this, but they haven't done hurdles in their life. What are we kind of looking for as a way to economise that movement over a hurdle, in this case a steeple? What are some little tips we could give the distance runners out there if they want to tackle the steeples?
Well, lots of drills over the normal hurdles, first of all. I have never done a steeplechase. I never intend to. But what you're looking for is is keeping the horizontal speed rather than going a big sort of parabolic curve. Okay.
Right.
So
it's not a jump; it's a step.
It's not a jump. It's not a jump. So I'm friends with Kate McElroy. She holds the New Zealand steeplechase female record. She's Comm Games, 5th in Melbourne. The trail leg's important for the hurdler, but actually it's the approach into it. So you want to attack it as distance runners and not think about it as a high jump.
Yes.
So not too floaty.
Right.
I would say just think about your touchdown times.
Now, I'm not too sure.
High knee when you come through. Don't drop that down.
Trailing leg, nice and high.
High knee and round
out
and
to
down.
the side.
Definitely out to the side.
Yeah, doing the little dog fire hydrant action.
Yep.
Is that what we're after?
That's the one. And with that front leg, you're looking for it to come. Bend your knee up, straighten it, but then straight down. Don't let it float out.
And so a lot of runners will do the B-skip as we see a good little change of pace and a change of lead. Javelin moving up and putting some pressure on George. So a lot of runners will do the B-skip. So that's it's the normal A-skip with a nice high knee, but then you're also reaching out with the foot, which sort of straightens the leg as it comes back down. Is that one of the drills you'd be looking to do?
That's a nice drill, Hayden.
Yeah.
Another nice drill, if you're a little bit away from a wall, say, and you're stepping into the wall, and you step with, say, your left foot and your lead leg's the right, and you're coming up and just bringing your lead to sort of the hurdle height. So you're just getting used to
you might put a little mark on the wall.
Yep, driving in.
Awesome. Great tips. Now, distance runners have the shortest hamstrings in the world. So maybe some flexibility, mobility.
I'll tell you what, their hip flexors are very tight as well, which restricts their hamstring length, okay,
Right.
and their ability to hold their pelvis in the right position for a long amount of times, okay? So I would say stretch your hip flexors. Then that will give you the length in the hamstring.
Right, just open up those hips.
Yeah, and so how I like to stretch my hip flexors is, again, using the wall in a lunge position.
Yep.
Go get your
toes back on the wall, back
knee,
legs.
back leg,
Like a
knee straight to the ground,
squat.
okay? And you're trying to get your bum to touch your heel of your. I've got my left knee on the ground. I'm in a lunge position right now for you guys at home, and I've got my right leg forward. Okay, you want to try and bring your bottom back to touch your left leg. And I've got one of our directors, Chucky, just doing a great job of this hip flexors.
This is great.
This is great.
I would warn any distance runners at home, have some company in case you get stuck in this position.
Okay, don't go straight to the bottom to the heel straight away, because you're going to get cramp.
Right. Good stuff.
If you do want to see what that actually looks like, I suggest maybe log on to Instagram. Look for the Stream Shop Instagram feed. And you'll find that's going to be on the gram very, very shortly.
So some good action here with 2 laps to go. We saw Javelin move up and put some pressure on George. George has repaid the favour and moved up back into first place. So these two, we knew it was going to be a good battle. It's about 100 metres back to Michael Sutton, who's comfortably sitting in third, about to get the 2-lap warning. But this is going to be a good old showdown. Let's see how this hurdle technique's now that they're tied. Still hurdling.
Now Javelin again pulls up to the shoulder. This is really cat and mouse. Now he slides past.
And this could be where that good hurdle technique comes into play. Have they practiced it tired? It's one thing to do it fresh, but it's another thing to get out there and do reps on the track.
Yeah.
Do your 1K reps, your 400s with the hurdles.
With fatigue. With fatigue. And the thing is as well is that these guys need to be able to hurdle both sides so they can keep running into and over the hurdles.
Not chopping the stride.
Yeah, not chopping the stride. And obviously the technique for the water jump, don't listen to anything I just said.
Just get through that one.
Well, this is a fascinating wee battle. It is Van der Peet leading the more heavier, thicker set, George Guerin. Here's Woodhead with the height at 4.10 over in the pole vault decathlon, clipping that one.
So Javelin really pulling away now. Well, is it pulling away or is it just a slight edging away? They're going to get the bell. They're most likely to run a PB at this sort of stage. And look, it's probably going to turn into a big old kick down. Can George Guerin go with him? What's he got left in the tank? What's he got left to draw on?
He's still got a bit because he's closing. He's not getting away. In fact, he's going to try and go next to him as they head over that barrier simultaneously. Now he goes past, slight stumble.
What a race from these two. The two Cantabrians would have trained together all the time at Napunawai. Javelin, has he got anything left? We've got 3 barriers to go in this 3,000 metre steeplechase final.
200 as they head out. Just over 200. Now it's Javelin putting in a bit of a surge as they head towards the water jump. Guerin just really starting to tire up.
It could all come down to this water jump. Has George given it to him? Here we go. Pulling away.
Just a slight stumble there from George coming out.
Javelin Van der Peet, he wants that title back. He always books a date to win this national title. And there he goes. What a last 200 metres he's run. George Guerin's going to have to settle for second. Jan van der Preet reclaims the New Zealand 3,000 metre steeplechase title.
Really nice time as well, around 9:19. Here comes George Guerin, just down to the line. He'll claim silver and then straight over to his good mate. Here we see our third competitor. He's going to get bronze here is Michael Sutton. Cantabrians wait for him to make his way down. It's going to be a nice time as well.
Yeah, Michael really floating in. He might actually pick up a PB. Well, pretty close. Good solid running there. Dipping under 10 minutes. Well done, Michael. Those three doing it tough in this hot summer sun. Great action.
It was
the
great.
3,000 steeples.
Well, it was fascinating as well. Just when they got through that third to last barrier, and you just saw that little push, and again, just the slight stumble from George coming off the water jump as he comes down to the line. I think we've got Aaron Booth over on the pole vault.
Opening height.
Starting at 4:30. And under. Now,
just bear in mind that Aaron Booth has warmed up for this event an hour ago.
Oh, that's what's going to be the thing again. He's had to do this.
Yeah. So he's warmed up. He needs to get his run up, and then he needs to just relax throughout the competition. Try and mentally just chill a little bit and know that he's going to have to re-warm up again when he comes in. So that one, it's okay. It's not ideal, but he's had a look at it.
Just leaves the pole there. And he'll be our last athlete in this event. We'll see he's leading comfortably at the moment after the first 7 disciplines. He's got a lead of nearly 1,000 points. Trying to do the mathematics. I think it's about 993 points that he leads by. A little bit of water underneath the Hastings Athletics marquee there. So he's through the 7 disciplines with 5,425 points is your leader in the decathlon, Aaron Booth. A vault of 4:30 would put him over 6,000 with 2 events remaining. Got the javelin throw and the 1,500 metres. We know he is capable of vaulting marks up in and around the 480 area. Takes a big, deep breath.
So yesterday in the high jump, he missed his 2 opening heights, got it on the 3rd. Let's hope he doesn't increase our heart rates any higher than they are on this one. He's got his coaches over there. Jeremy McCall for the pole vault, Matt Dello, overall coach, as he takes the pole up. Come on, Aaron. Oh, yes.
Nice. Great. So that puts the marker down. That's what he's looking for. So he's got points. He's actually got 702 of them with that clearance at 4:30. Now, how does the progression go in terms of what is he looking at next?
Well, I think he'll go to 450. And yes, that's what the bar's going to go to.
So 450. So we just said 702 points. Would get himself up to 760 with a clearance at 4.5. There's Christina Ryan. Part of this really great battle at the moment between she and her clubmate Maddie Wilson in the heptathlon. It drops down around the mid-30s.
Again, for these heptathletes, really critical. They get that first throw in the ground. Look to build from there. This is their 6th event. Off the long jump this morning, into the jav. And finish with the 800 later on today.
Sneaky wee 800, and that could be a fascinating wee battle, given how close Christina Ryan and Maddie Wilson are. very relaxed with Javelin in hand.
It's Alice Taylor there.
So Taylors we have seen very good high jumpers.
Great to see her competing in the multis.
So one low, nice arc. That'll be around the 30-metre mark. Nice throw by Alice Taylor. There's a wee look. You see the mark of 33.53. That was previous throw by Christina Ryan. See? Nicely. Nice mark. Good clean mark for the officials to measure. There's we see the 1,500 metres podium of Catherine Campbell, Holly Manning and Laura Nagel. It's a wee bit of a chuckle too as she gets a wee bit dwarfed by her slightly taller competitors. Gee, what a
season.
What a season for Laura Nagel.
Breakthrough. And those kind of seasons then say, she says to herself, why can't I be on a world championship, major championship team? And interviewing her a couple of weeks ago for Locker Room, she talked about she's hungry for it. She wants to be a part of a new generation of female distance runners. You know, it's wonderful to see her back out here in New Zealand and racing so well. This is Maddie Wilson.
High again, to be a similar sort of mark to what we just saw Alice throw, which was 31.45. Sort of just over that 30. Here's Aaron Booth, our leader of the men's decathlon, with the bar now set at 450. He's got points on the board. He's got 702. This one here would give him 760 if he can clear.
First attempt. Yes, good boy.
Oh, and that looked very comfortable,
yep,
Sarah
like
Cowley
that,
Ross.
like that. You know, really got over the bar there. Bit of room. So it'll be interesting to see what he puts the bar to now. I would say 70, but bearing in mind, if then you put the bar to 70 and don't get it, then you drop down to 50.
So
it's a risk reward.
Let's just go through those points again. 450, so that's 760 points going on to the total of your decathlon leader, Aaron Booth. If he were to go to 760, he would earn 790, so that's another 30 points.
Okay, so he's put it at 470.
That's 819.
Yes, critical. As we're in the women's javelin, Christina Ryan.
Heptathlon to the far end of the field. Pole vault, decathlon over the far side. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Sarah Cowley Ross in her element. Absolutely loving it, seeing these multi-eventers. And if you are just joining us, if you had your own sporting action or other things on yesterday and maybe you've got an afternoon off to be able to sit down and chill, it is nice to have the combined eventers here because they normally have their own national championships away from the traditional events that you would have watched here on Sky Sport Next in recent times. So to have the decathletes, to have the heptathletes involved, just sort of it completes.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And it just elevates these performances of these young women in the heptathlon. They're on PB shape. They need a good javelin to keep that roll on. But it makes a difference having more people around, having the atmosphere, even though we don't have fans here. This is way more people than what they would normally have in a national championships, as we see there Alice Taylor in her second throw in the women's heptathlon javelin.
You see our discus podium. So
are they going to fit on?
Kind of they're going to need a bigger podium. It's a bit like Jaws. We're going to need a bigger boat. Solid lads.
Great to see Connor back out here today.
Yeah, how good was that?
Yeah,
and throwing over 60 as well.
Yeah, first outing. His coach, Mike Schofield, recovering from pec surgery. I'm sure he'll be watching his charges out here this weekend.
So there we see. I think we've got one more round of throws for our three athletes in the women's heptathlon. There's Maddie. Actually, maybe the last of our second round throwers. Aaron Booth is back over on the runway at the pole vault with that pole up at 4 metres 70. What I found fascinating about that previous vault from Aaron, it almost looked to be in slow motion at certain times. You wouldn't say it was sort of a rapid movement, but it just seemed so clean and smooth, and he looked so calm up there.
Yeah, he's enjoying being out here. You know, back in New Zealand after some time in the States and Australia. He's got a new coach, his former coach, and, you know, for a decathlete to be out here doing decathlon, that's what it's about for them. That's what all the hours are. Same for the heptathletes. As Maddie Wilson just loses the tip on that one.
It'll be short of 30, but she's had a throw past 30 metres. Here we go. First attempt, 470, Aaron Booth.
Will him on.
Men's decathlon.
Yes. No. Damn it.
He just wanders back, misses with the first. Just a reminder, he cleared it 430. That was worth just over 700 points. He has cleared that's a 450 mark, but if he can clear this, it's worth another 59 points for him. He was just short of 4,000 after day one. Was looking to maybe be above that 4,000 mark.
It's Christina Ryan visualising what she's about to do. Last throw for her in this women's heptathlon. You'll see her go straight into the crossovers.
Get yourself set. Around again, that'll be 30. Just over again, looking just for as many points. Could be a centimetre here, centimetre there. Aaron Booth is taking his time. You mentioned before that he's working with coach Jeremy McCall, of course, runs that wonderful pole vaulting system over there on the North Shore. As a decathlete, as a heptathlete, how many coaches do you have? Is it you work with individual coaches on the individual aspects? Do you have an overall coach? Is it just a strength and conditioning coach? And then you work around. Explain how the coaching element for a combined eventer is.
Yeah, so great question, Nigel. And really, again, very different for different athletes. Aaron, he's got a specialist pole vault coach, but also an overall coach in Matt Dello, who does his strength and conditioning work as well. It really depends on where the athlete's based, the availability of specialist coaches, and also just the personality of the athlete. You know, do they like that real lots of input from different people? But whatever you're doing, there needs to be one person in charge, coordinating the overall program and the overall load, as we see Alice Taylor here take her final throw in the women's heptathlon.
Eyes wide open, gets that.
That's nice.
He got through that very nicely. Again, could be an extension. I think she had about 32 earlier on. So from your point of view, were you someone who wanted to work with specialists, or were you just that one point of contact?
So I had one point of contact in my last coach, my coach I had for 5 years towards the end of my career, Elena Brown. I'm sure she's watching on the live stream. Hi, Elena. And we did at times go to specialist coaches when things weren't quite clicking, when also things went well and we wanted more. But then I had also a separate strength and conditioning coach as well.
So here is Booth. This is the second attempt at 470. Your leader in the men's decathlon.
Oh.
Runs through on that one. That's going to get the red flag. So he's going to get one more opportunity here at 470. Maddie Wilson.
Last throw for Maddie.
It's come through. Well, that's a good one. That could be a wee extension as well for her.
Just better intent there on the one-way from Booth, I think. But also I noticed that the windsock picked up. So might have just been slightly over his mark at takeoff.
So he'll head back. He's got, as we heard Sarah say before, they just wanted the first thing, they just wanted points on the board, and that's what they've got. And so now, you see 32.89. Going to take the last jump of Aaron Bruce before we break for a little lunch session. So that was the conclusion of the javelin for the women's decathlon.
And it's a relief that that's over for them. But then the realisation, I've got to run at 800. It's not over yet.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see once we get the final standings in the heptathlon, because it was very close between Christina Ryan and Maddie Wilson, who we've watched for several years now come through those junior ranks and now stepping up into the seniors, and coached by Terry Lomax. And so there's a great wee battle there ensuing. Here's Aaron Booth. And if you are just joining the stream as well, the big thing that's come out of the pole vault, Ethan Phillips, who was in second place heading into this particular discipline, unable to register a mark in the pole vault. And if you can't get a mark, you don't get no points. So that is big. So Matthew White and Nick Fee will push ahead, you suspect, of Ethan. It was a very tight battle for second spot between Ethan and Matthew.
We do hope that Ethan could potentially continue on and do the last two events.
I'd like to see it, because look, there was a bit of a gap back to Nick Fee. So whilst he might have handed the silver over to Matthew, I think there's still a chance for him with bronze. So this is Aaron Booth. The bar standing at 470. Final attempt.
Let's go, Aaron. Oh.
No.
Not to be.
That mark of 350 will stand. But it is a little bit short of what we know he is capable of, but that's going to need him 760 points. And he will continue to lead the men's decathlon with just two disciplines to go, the javelin throw and the 1500 metres. And we here are going to take another break. So we'll be back at 1 o'clock this afternoon for the afternoon session, the final session of the Jennian Homes New Zealand Track and Field Championships of 2022. You go get some kai, we're going to do the same, and we'll see you at 1 o'clock.